Welcome back to the High Octane Sim Series. I'm your host, 10-4 Broadcast, and Patrick Morrison, and alongside me is Kynan Jones, who is excited about the race tonight. Texas Motor Speedway is the challenge for the drivers tonight. 217 laps over clear 80-degree skies, and these drivers are hoping to keep the favorable track temps for the 6 sets of tires sitting behind their pit boxes. Texas is a 1.5-mile track that is sure to give every single driver difficulty in these next-gen cars. I had a few moments with the JKR Motorsports, and they said they've been practicing all week and feeling real good about their chances tonight. Rockingham last week brought up tensions between a few drivers. One to note is the number 89 Matthew Batby and number 20 of Brandon Fetterplace, allowing Riley Hoots to pull away and collect his first win of the season. Late race collisions sparked rage, but days have passed and temperatures have settled. It is still, it's still at this time, it's hard to say when you return behind the wheel that the flashbacks will linger in the back of your mind. As for the Max Graphics teams, Martin Plute and Christopher Darling are looking to turn it around. Had some mechanical issues at the Rock, causing heavy damage to those vehicles. Two of those drivers at that team have already have wins this season. Christopher Darling at Daytona and Martin Plute at New Hampshire. So we'll keep an eye out for these guys in these teams as they collect the points here tonight. Kynan, rumors have been floating around pit road about the turn 1 entry that if you can nail that turn, you're almost guaranteeing yourself a top 10 position. Really, what are the key to remaining competitive and conserving the tires here tonight?
It's really hard to say with how the different corners are. Turn 3 and 4 is just flat out, basically. There may be a bit of lifting when the tires start to wear, but as the drivers have said, you get turn 1 right and just take it easy. It's very easy to grain that tire and then they'll take you up into the wall. So if you can just keep a hold of it and be able to carry the speed through 1 and 2, then you'll be able to carry it throughout the rest of the lap.
Yeah, and it's something worth noting as well, as we talk about tire conservation, is actually the stages in which these guys will be stopping. We'll be stopping for a competition caution at 65 and 136, and then after 136 it'll be a sprint to the end of the 217 that they will be running tonight. So this is going to be a definite blast here tonight to see how these guys get going. Just something to note, looks like we got about 12 miles an hour wind out there, so I know for some of these drivers it's a little difficult because you'll see the cars kind of floating, moving around the track, and giving them a little bit of a hard time kind of getting this thing nailed and put away. But man, really, we're getting ready to line up here. These guys are squaring themselves away in pit road, so super exciting to see that. We're gonna go ahead and let's see if we can get that that ticker up here for you, as we're gonna take a quick peek at where everybody's getting to start here tonight. It looks like Matthew Batby has gone ahead and taken the pole tonight, with Jeffrey Goodpaster in second, Nick Alford. Really good turnout by him. Another JKR Motorsports driver there up in the front in third. Matthew Wilson fourth. Ira Colas in fifth. Edward Marshall should be in that 16 machine. Yeah, looking good there in that KOA campground. In sixth place, Riley Hoots, last week's winner in the 24 machine. 98 of Jeremy Richmond up here up front, still rocking that red, white, and blue paint scheme there in the 98. Brandon Fetterplace and Martin Plute to round out the top 10. And really, I'm excited to see what some of these other guys can get done here tonight, as we got Martin Plute. Let's see where he is in that 91 and 45th. We got Jacob Fifield there, Brendan Messer in 54. Villalobos there in the 78 machine. As we're moving our way down the line, William Britton 14th. 15th, Zach Reedy-Ninas. I know a couple guys out there chucking a little bit, but that is harder to say than you would think. As it looks like we got Robert Ballard Jr. back here in the 16th, Anthony Monroe 17th, James Brosicker actually starting a lot farther back than I would expect to see him here tonight. Christopher Miller in the 19th, Alan Bledsoe 20th, Nicholas Schell, actually one of the JKR Motorsports guys, starting a little behind this time. I don't know if he decided not to qualify there, but Paul Bojanic there in the 8, Ben Mashburn in the 4 machine as he gets rolling, Ian Janik in the 24th position, Chris Schaefer 25th, Phoenix Mattern in the 26th position, Robert King in the 27th, Kelly Thomas in the 51 machine in the back, and I believe we also have race control up in the booth, and that's looking awesome for him. Glad to see we have one of those guys out here tonight because kind of if there's one thing you got to have, man, it's race control. Kind of keep these guys under you know, kind of under your thumb and keep everybody, you know, civil out there on the track.
Yeah, with having a live race control, it just means that if someone's making too many issues throughout the entire race, they can just either black flag them, just tell them, hey, calm down a little bit, or if it comes down to it, can remove. So that will help clean it up. But we are now coming to the green flag. Grab your cowboy boots because we're back under green for the High Octane Sim Series.
Oh, yeah, we are under green right there. Matthew Batby getting a great jump in front of Jeffrey Goodpaster there as he's on the outside. So these guys are going to go ahead and dive into turn one. And like they said, it's kind of really the key to getting this thing nailed down is where they end up. Looks like these two have actually already separated and working their way apart. We're going to rotate back here. Nick Alford there, and he's fallen back there a little bit to the 4th position. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like there's a caution out there already. I'm not sure if something weird happened there. A Brosek or something happened there as we see him heading down pit road. I think there may have been a little hiccup there on the restart and something happened. Something didn't go right. Now, I know out there they said there was going to be some trouble out on the track here tonight just due to the fact of that restart zone. That is going to be kind of weird for some of these drivers.
Yeah, going to definitely mix things up, but I just quickly looked in on Brozeka, who actually took an EOL. Wasn't able to get lucky, but the rear right was wobbling around, so unfortunate that we've had a caution this early on, especially in a 217 lap race. I thought we were going to get a little bit cleaner just because of how cars were starting to spread out already, but just means we get to re-rack it and do it all again.
Yeah, a little weird, actually, how it happened. I'm trying to see if I can get a decent view here, kind of. Let's see if we can take a little peek here of what is going on. Let me see if I can kind of get you to kind of join me here with this. We're kind of looking. It looks like the caution's already out. He's at the bottom, but it looks like he takes damage here. Not quite sure. It looks like the 42 of Alan Bledsoe may have hit him, causing that damage right there. I don't know exactly what happened. Have you seen actually maybe what causes the caution? I mean, I'm having a little trouble seeing what happened. I don't know if there was a problem with the restart or what exactly happened.
Yeah, I didn't really see anything too out there. Maybe just with how the race started. It looks like coming to the green, there was people just letting cars go from taking EOLs, and then Bledsoe and Brozek had just come together, and I believe that's what's caused the caution. It was a admin phone caution, so that's another advantage of having a live race controller is if a caution doesn't come out for something that they feel a caution is required, they can throw that.
Yeah, and as we see them kind of lining up there for the EOLs they did get, I think that's some of the trouble, like you're saying there. I'm kind of saving everybody a little bit of the heartache here, kind of taking a look as they were shuffling up there on pit road, and I think maybe just some of the lining up was actually part of the trouble there. They just weren't able to get it, but that's exactly what you want to see is race control really kind of get this thing squared away. You do kind of want to get it done, before everybody gets going. But this will be a great time to shout out for Admin Box, one of our sponsor here at 10-4 Broadcasting. This would be a box to go ahead and take care of the issue they just had, throwing that caution out there or throwing those EOLs for these guys. That'll be another one to go ahead and get this thing under control. So check out Admin Box. We have a coupon code for you, 10-4-box, with 2 X's on the end. Knock it down to about 125. Great job there. 217 laps. I hope you ate, because Captain Jack's Smokehouse is where you should have been eating. That'll definitely fill your belly full of good food, especially hopefully you aren't taking too much beer there or alcoholic consumption during this race, as we got 217 to get going. But you're going to need W to stay awake to keep this thing under control and up in the front. Really a great energy drink, doesn't really tucker you out or you end up with that massive crash there at the end. So check out W. But really, kind of here at 10-4 Broadcasting, we're seeing Matthew Batby back up in the front, and really this seems almost a repeat of last year. That 89 machine is up front a lot. And I believe your first race, you did actually a money race that Haas actually competed in. That actually hosted, and who was the winner of that one?
I believe it was Riley Hoots, if my memory serves me correctly, followed by the 4 of Mashburn and then Batby. So the people that we have seen be competitive won that, and we see the 89 back up front. Be interesting to see if the 24 can also join his teammate up there.
Yeah, so Riley Hoots and Matthew Batby of that Kenny Power Motorsports team, so those guys are very strong, and it seems they're very strong every week. And really, great to see a lot of these guys out here getting this thing under control. But let's see how we got here. Out here in the chat, I want to let you guys know I do read that out there. Shane Hoots, I'm hoping Riley can do another great run as he was almost down and out at the Rock, but he was able to pull it out and get the win there after the unfortunate upset that he had there at Daytona, leading a lot of laps there and then getting, unfortunately, some contact, I believe, with Ben Mashburn getting turned around there. Martin Plute on fire, bud. Hopefully not a whole lot of cautions like you and I enjoyed there at New Hampshire. I believe Haas did a lot better job last race keeping that under control. And Race Fan 1973 watching from Maine, go get him, the 33 of Goodpaster. So yes, up in front, Jeffrey Goodpaster. Really excited to see how he can go ahead and turn this one out. He's not one to count out. He's able to get up there and really kind of surprise you. I think he's kind of one of those, those sleeper drivers. He kind of hangs out in the back. You don't see him making really aggressive moves, but then, bang, he's able to be there and get it done. So, I'm interested to see, if he's able to hang up here with the big dogs, as Nick Alford, I'm sure, is going to be pushing on the backside of his bumper when they want to come down for that inside turn.
Yeah, even though he may be a little bit further back, if you can find your way to just slowly sneak your way forward. I've seen people win races from the back of the pack just because of their ability to take care of their equipment and show the pace when it matters. It doesn't matter if you're fast now. Batby can lead all 216 laps, but if he gets beaten on the final corner and runs the line, it doesn't matter. So you just need to be fast when it matters, and that's when we'll see who has the best luck and pace at times.
Oh yeah, and as we see right now, setting the pace, Matthew Batby getting that favorable jump during that restart, hanging out front, doing a fantastic job going ahead, but really leaving Goodpaster. You kind of see maybe that heat cycle there just from that one lap. Boy, look at them cars slinging off the turn there. It is a great race here tonight. Right now, I'm looking at about 28 drivers out here on the track. So this is super exciting. Track temperature about 81 degrees. So it will take a little longer for these tires to heat up and get this, keep these things under control. But Nick Alford, like what I was saying, he's going to be hard to keep Goodpaster in there. But boy, really hate to do it, but it looks like Goodpaster's actually kind of marching back here a little bit. He's back in the 9th position. So from 2nd to 9th, he's kind of fallen off. And really, that 7 position change there, kind of, it's nothing to be afraid of. We got definitely 210 laps to go, but he's got plenty of time to make it up. I just find the farther back in the field you go, the harder it's going to be to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, the further back you go, the more at risk you are of being involved in a wreck. Unless you're all the way in the back, and then you kind of have a bit more control of what happens around you. But when you're in the middle, it means you're going to be more at risk of being in a wreck. We talk about it at Daytona and Talladega, but it can happen at any track. But luckily, or unluckily, we should say, Texas isn't exactly the easiest track to get around and pass, so you want to have track position. So yes, he is in 9th position right now, but it's not all and done for him. A bit of pit strategy and a bit of drama may be able to elevate his position still.
Yeah, now something to keep in mind, next week we are at the Charlotte Roval, I believe. Don't take my word on it. I know I've seen some leagues that kind of toss around between the Charlotte Roval and Watkins Glen. I lost my notes for last week. I'm not sure if they changed that, but we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. I am no good at road courses at all, but really, you will have to get a good place here tonight, especially if you are like me and you're not good at those road courses. Being able to place a good shot and a good place here to really fall back on if you have a bad run next time. But a lot of these guys getting single file here, kind of, as they are marching back. I mean, we're about single file for about 20 places here. These guys are all kind of straight in a line.
Yeah, it does seem like drivers are just taking it easy, deciding to save some tire. With how much the tires do get destroyed on this track, just deciding take it easy, try save, maybe a set for the end. It is 217 laps. There's no point on throwing away on lap 10.
Yeah, really trying to see if anybody can get really up to speed here. Right now we got taking a look at Ben Mashburn here. I know we kind of have that bird's eye view, trying to make sure we can get everybody in the screen here. But Ben Mashburn up here in the number 4 car, really he's moving up so far, up 7 positions already in the 16th place. I don't know if he didn't have enough time in qualifying. We had a little bit of a late start here at 10-4, but hey, regardless, we made it. We're here, we're live, and you are here watching us. You race fan, I see you. Race he won at New Hampshire, man. Really, I'm curious to see if Goodpaster can secure this, can secure another shot here. But we'll have to see. Like I said, there's so much more race to go here. Fade Productions, let's go, Matthew. Man, I hope so. As we see, we know Matthew Batby's out there in front, but Nick Alfred's only behind by 0.2 of a second. Really not putting a whole lot of pressure on him at this point. Just kind of doing the follow the leader sort of thing and hanging out behind Brandon Fetterplace in the number 20 car. He's making pretty good moves, up 5 positions into the 4th position. Really hanging out in the top 5, and that's kind of where we do see Brandon Fetterplace. I'm just curious to see over the length of the race, is he able to hold on and stay up front?
Yeah, right now it seems like just taking it easy, especially a bit more easy than the cars in front of him, hoping to be able to carry this speed, and then maybe if the cars in front destroy their tires, as I've now mentioned multiple times this broadcast already. But if he's able to just keep the consistency going throughout the entire race, he should be able to finish up front.
Yeah, but it does prove a point. This track, yes, has speed. It has big races that go on here, but it just goes to show the importance here of just how much and how important they are in this race of what we need to do to stay out front and be competitive without getting your car folded up and really in a whole lot of trouble. As we're taking a look back here at that 99 machine, seems something may have happened there. I'm not sure if he got a little loose and kind of got up into the wall there. Definitely having to dial it back, falling back a bunch of positions there, as I know they were going about too wide on the edge of our screen before I could get to them, and it already happened. Man, really back to racing they go. So we are noticing kind of the same line here, and these guys are kind of driving around, taking that, the high side, not riding, let's say, not riding the low line on the backstretch as much as we've seen in other tracks. But, you do see him diving a lot lower through these turns, getting through here.
Yeah, it's a very more single-file racetrack. If you get out of that groove ever so slightly, you're going to lose a lot of time. The 99, that previous lap, was on the high line and then got tight and then got into the wall. That's why he was slow, but that's why you'll see a lot of drivers opting to more so choose the low line in 1 and 2, and then in 3 and 4 they might decide to go to the second lane, but then if you do that, it's a lot easier for it to get tight, and then suddenly you run out of room and then you're in the wall.
Yeah, as we're actually looking back here for a battle at the 22-23 position. We just saw Ian Janet go ahead and take it. Looks like Alan Bledsoe's moving it. So really, the man on the move, actually in the wrong direction, would be Zachary DeNinas there in the 99 machine. He may be dealing with some damage, and he's going to have to turn that around to kind of keep competitive. He's 9 seconds off the pace right now. Boy, as you kind of see right there again, he's kind of clipping that wall. I knew up in the chat for JKR Motorsports, he did have a little bit of trouble during the practice that JKR was running, but he did feel pretty confident trying to keep this thing to hook. I think the change, would be, you do race with your teammates, and, and you kind of get a little switched up, is once you get to your teammates, it's different when you're racing a pile of guys you never did before. As we're seeing Jeremy Richmond, boy, look at the speed he's picking up right there. As we were talking to JKR Motorsports drivers, Jeremy Richmond, that 98 machine, is on the move right now, up 3 positions from where he started the race, up into the top 5 now, so he's feeling a lot more comfortable. But man, Martin Plude has got to be getting a little sick back there in that 91, seeing these guys kind of bump and bang around. Riley Hoots and Julio Villalobos there. We see these guys definitely bump and bang a lot over the past few races. So really, boy, the spotters got to be on this one, kind of.
Yeah, right now they are getting very close to each other, but more importantly, they're not doing it to a point where the cars around them are getting loose, because once you get loose in this thing, it's really hard to recover it. I've done some driving with it in officials, and I have been able to kind of learn how to save it, but then again, it's very hit or miss. You either save it or you're going into the wall. There's no middle ground, and it's a lot more unforgiving as they decide and go 3 wide in turn 4.
Oh, and Martin
Martin
Plute is
Plute's
in the wall.
hard.
Martin Plute is into the wall. Fortunately, Haas has a faster pair, and he is definitely going to need it, as he made a hard hit into that wall through the tunnel turn and kind of clipping it right before the finish line. That right front wheel he's lucky it's still connected. At that point, man, he's got to be dealing with some serious whiplash, as we are now going to our second caution of the night here, kind of.
Yeah, that was real unfortunate. Just trying to take it on the outside with the 78 having no momentum on the exit of 4. I thought they were going to make it, but then it just looks like there may have been a small bit of neck code. It's ever so slightly, but just because of how it goes into that quad oval, it's not a very nice transition, and that's the biggest fear I have with these sorts of tracks, like Charlotte, Texas. Just having where it just, even Atlanta, it's a reason why I don't like these sorts of tracks. You've got to turn, but then if you go 3 wide, then your car's going straight, but you've also got to be, it's a mess. I don't like it, but real unfortunate. But something to keep in mind, person who won at Daytona got involved in a wreck early on. Person who won at New Hampshire, who was Plute, got involved in a wreck early on, had to take his fast repair. Person who won at Rockingham with Riley Hoot got involved in a wreck early on, ended up winning, even though it had taken their fast repair. So, statistically, he may still win.
Yeah, it is possible, as we are taking a look here at the replay of Martin Plute, and it looks like Villalobos moves up a little more than he expected right there. You kind of see the jerk up a little higher, and then, yeah, Martin Plute comes down. He thought he just had a little bit of room and kind of caught the front there. So really, I don't think Villalobos ended up with any damage there. But it's going to be a bit unfortunate for some of these guys. We're going to kind of actually take a ride along here with Julio Villalobos and kind of see if he sees anything, really what happens, to see if I can get that replay kind of working up here for you and kind of see what happened as they were getting around this turn here. All right, and there we go. Okay. Yeah, and we kind of see what happened there, kind of. I'm going to actually kind of set it back there a little bit. And you know what would have freaked me out on this one is kind of take an eyeball at the, at the spot where he moves. I'm going to roll it back here. Notice his mirrors. You see up at that top mirror where he is. Riley Hoots pops in the left side, and watch what it does on the left mirror. And he almost corrects for it. See that jerk? And then he moved, and then Martin Plute kind of got into him. So really, man, I almost can't blame him, especially with the mirror looking like that. Holy cow. So, yeah, but Martin Plute definitely having to bring it down pit road and get that thing squared away. He's broken, but fortunately we do have one faster pair. But really, man, kind of 25 laps into this thing, you're down to your one and only faster pair. Now what?
Well, now, with this many laps left in the race, I'm just going to be wanting to take it easy. No need to push it and then be completely out of it, especially when everyone else will still have their fast repair, besides a couple of drivers that got involved in the first caution under the formation lap. So, just trying to play it like a super speedway. Just take it easy, slowly make my way up the field. I know I've got the pace. I know I can finish well, so I just need to keep my car together and then hopefully things go my way. It was real unfortunate. The 78 just didn't expect Plute to decide to go up there, and then Plute came down ever so slightly, and then Netcode made it a lot worse. Even though it was very slight, it just upset the car, and Plute had to counter steer up because of the pinion steering in these next gens. It just shot straight into the wall, and luckily it was only him, and he didn't break the rear of the car, so he was able to limp it back to the pits, but still real unfortunate.
Yeah, as we're taking actually a look here. Right now I've got our view on Ira Colas in the 29. Is actually the first one out of pit road. It looks like 14th back. Has gone ahead and pit. Maybe trying to maybe get a splash of fuel that they're not expecting, or try to get a different tire strategy at this point. But let's see. It looks like Ira Colas, Julio Villalobos, Edward Marshall have gone ahead and pit. Jeremy Richmond pit. Christopher Miller, Brandon Fetter place. Jacob Fifield, Kelly Thomas in the 51. That machine went ahead and pit as well. Robert Ballard Jr., William Britton, Phoenix Mattern, Jeffrey Goodpaster in the 33, so we saw his little bit of fall off there, and now he's going to have a chance to probably reset and get this thing back underway. Zachary D. Ninas and Martin Plute have gone ahead and pit early on lap 24 here. So a lot of these drivers trying to switch it up as they are getting lined back up. Matthew Batby up in the lead. I know we haven't spent a whole lot of time on him. No offense to Matthew Batby, and that Kenny Motors Power Motorsports out there. But man, Matthew Batby leads a lot of laps up here. Riley Hoots, his teammate, lining up right behind him. So he's got to be super excited that he's got a friend up there in not just the top 5, but the top 3 to hopefully get a good push and a work around here. But man, this just seems like what we saw at the Rock. These two guys had an extra set of tires and were put on a clinic to those drivers in the final 5 laps.
Yeah, having that extra set of tires, we only have 6 extra sets plus the first that we start on, so technically we have 7 sets of tires to be used. Those drivers that did pit are now down a pair, so they've only got 5 sets of tires left at their disposal. That's going to definitely come into effect, especially if we get a late caution like we did last week.
Yeah, as we're looking right here, back under green. Looks like we're already pushing, getting our way back up front. A lot of drivers starting to mash up there already, and mashing right now has been Mashburn in that 4 machine. We did see him getting real close to the back end there of, looks like Anthony Monroe of that 82 machine. Kind of taking a peek at him, but like I said, Matthew Batby and Riley Hoots working well together up in the 1 and 2 position. Quick calculation, if it's 217 laps with starting 7 sets of tires, if you include the one that is on them, that is 31 laps they have to go for these tires to make it happen. So if these guys decided to go ahead and pit a little bit early, it is okay. They're just going to have to kind of stretch them out a little bit later than they were used to there. As we're rotating back here, Nick Alford there in the 95. Seems everything is starting to calm down there, kind of, but really Matthew Wilson and Ben Mashburn kind of mixing it up here.
Yeah, right now they're racing very competitively, but with how those fresh tires are going to be slowly coming their way through the field, having that extra grip makes you wonder how long until this battle may be interrupted by someone with a lot more grip. And with that extra grip, you're going to need to have patience as we see how easily the 98 of Jeremy Richmond flies by with the new tires.
Absolutely, and that's what I was just getting ready to say, is that 98 machine is on a tear right now. That guy, Jeremy Richmond, is flying. I mean, he has moved all the way up. Wow, just kind of keeping an eye on him. Look at the amount of speed he has compared to the other drivers around him. Let's just look at Anthony Monroe, turned to 31.5. He just turned a second faster than him at a 31.6. So really, Jeremy Richmond up into the 3rd position. And really, I almost think he's going to be able to reel in the leaders here and make a battle for the front. But will a new set of tires cost him later on in the race? Well, we'll have to see as long as he can stay out front and hold them off.
Well, right now he's going to have the track position. He should be able to easily pass Hoot and Batby. The question is, how easy will these two make it? But I mean, we knew tires were going to be a factor tonight, but this just proves how overpowered new tires can be. Just the amount of extra mechanical grip that you do get on a new set of tires is ridiculous.
Wow. Yeah, and you kind of think with Jeremy Richmond racing as fast as he is right now, man, I hope that tire fall off isn't going to creep up on him faster than he expects as we have a battle for the lead. Jeremy Richmond working his way on the inside. Fresh tires working out perfectly for him as he enters into turn 1. Our new race leader, Jeremy Richmond of the JKR Motorsports Team 98 machine, going ahead and look at him. And now starting to put a half a second gap on Matthew Batby and climbing. So, man, he is on the move. But also on the move, looks like he's now starting to creep up into the top 5. Jeffrey Goodpaster, another one who took tires. Brandon Fetterplace, Christopher Miller, and Martin Plute, respectively, behind him as well. Those guys in the pack of 4 are moving their way up front. So really, we are starting to see the tire advantage at this point working their way up front as Jeffrey Goodpaster works his way up in the 4th position. Seems to have straightened that car out since a little bit of the stumble there at the beginning of the start.
Yeah, the pace that he is showing is really strong right now. Maybe was just taking it easy, even though he lost those couple of positions. But deciding to take these tires has elevated him massively as they're catching right up to the back of the 24 of Hoots, and Goodpaster is actually going to put it below and pass Hoots in the mid corner. Better Place is going to do it on exit. Now they're going to be chasing down Batby.
Yeah, I would almost say that as long as the longer this stays green flag, the better it works out for these guys with tires. Because right now, Jeremy Richmond already pulling away by 2.5 seconds there. Riley Hoots already starting to get kind of mashed up in the back here, having to get really squeezed there. Martin Plute trying to find a way around him, but you know he's already gone through that fast repair, so he's got to be careful in that 91 machine. But Matthew Batby back to the 5th position. And we've kind of seen this before. These guys, you know, they come out here, they got a fast car, they lead the race. He's gone ahead and taken the, taken the lead from these guys and able to lead a bunch of laps. But then just, they fall back. You'll see them roll out of the top 10. And then all of a sudden, they're saving that extra set of tires. And it always seems to pay off right in the end when it matters. Just the key is the more cautions that happen later in the race, it may or may not actually foil their plan. But really, Matthew Batby and Riley Hoots in the 6th and 7th position here as Martin Plute breaks into the top 5.
Yeah, right now, it's going to be a question on how quickly until these new tires start to wear off. Unlike last week and New Hampshire, it's a little bit more spread out. The track isn't as forgiving for letting you get right up to someone. You're able to get close, but not close enough to really start thinking about overtaking. So the risk of a caution is a lot lower here than at a short track or a smaller intermediate. So it's going to mean that it's going to be less likely that there's going to be a green-white checkered or some sort of late caution, but not impossible, especially when drivers start really pushing to try and get past.
Yeah, just kind of taking a look here at actually Jacob Fifield in that Chevy number 45 machine. He did pit on lap 24, like we said, but he is not moving as fast as some of these other drivers. He's out there in the 13th position. Ira Colas also pit at the same lap as well, about 3 seconds faster, but their tire fall off. I'm wondering if they only pit for fuel, and they did not take tires at this point, because right now that 45 machine is turning a 32-second lap. As compared to Jeremy Richmond up there in the 30-second increment. So really starting to put the scoot on this car and getting around the track. But, I'm wondering if he's just kind of planning for the long run. As hopefully a long green flag run for these guys, and this thing will just start ticking away.
Yeah, right now it doesn't really seem like he has as much grip, especially compared to the top 6 who all pit for tires. All of them besides one ran a 30-second on the last lap, but Fifield also may just be taking it easy, trying to conserve his tires.
Yeah, and only about 2 cars laps down Christopher Schaefer in the 23 machine in 27th, and Nicholas Schell actually 3 laps down in the number 96. It is very hard to get your laps back at a track like Texas. These guys really start moving and getting up front there, but cautions would help him in this. Up in this race, but we will have to see. But let's check on Jeffrey Goodpaster. Let's see where he's at, as it looks like he's following behind Martin Plute up there in the 5th position. So he's starting to work his way up front there. Race fan 1973, we are keeping an eye on him and kind of seeing how it's going. But right now, Jeremy Richmond is putting some massive distance. Jeffrey Goodpaster is 4 seconds off that pace. But he is not alone. William Britton also 4.5 seconds, and Martin Plute just under 4 seconds. So these guys are starting to really having to make up some ground here. I know they had a lot more traffic to fight through, but Jeremy Richmond really put that thing to the floor, and he's working his way up. But Brandon Fetterplace almost holding the same kind of lap times here. I think yeah, only about 50 thousandths of a second off between Jeremy Richmond and Brandon Fetterplace. I would assume Jeremy Richmond's probably starting to kind of coast a little bit and keep this thing under control.
Interesting thing to note, the 89 pitted. I thought maybe there may have been some sort of issue, but a lot of drivers are now calling out that they're pitting this time. Looks to be just a flash of gas, and now they're getting out as soon as possible. So the drivers don't have enough fuel to make it to the end of the stage.
Oh, wow. They don't have enough to make it to the end of the stage. So that's definitely going to chop things up here a little bit. You almost pray at this point for that caution, hoping something like that is going to, kind of come and, help you out here in the end. But, man, I just don't know. I love seeing green flag racing, as it looks like William Britton is going to enjoy it as well, as he's going to try to make a move there on, I believe, it looks like Christopher Miller, and he does. Wow, William Britton taking that super, super low line. But he has broken and well into the top 5 now in the 4th position. And let's take a look back here at Riley Hoots, another one of our drivers up there, still maintaining the 7th place position. So not bad, really interesting to see how long he can hold out here. But you are saying fuel will be an issue. So I'm curious to see how long this takes here, kind of. As a matter, I believe Matthew Batby, he went ahead and pit. Yes, he did on lap 42.
Definitely going to be interesting towards the end of the stage. Depending on how the cars that did pit, maybe they just took fuel like Fifield. How are they going to really fare for the end of the race or the end of the stage when drivers are around? And we got a caution.
Oh, no. So for some of these guys who are lapped down, that is going to destroy their race. Oh, no. There we are, the Matthew Wilson and the 48 machine. As we see him kind of sitting on the inside wall here. Might have gotten turned around. So we are going to bring up that 10-4 broadcasting replay and see what exactly happened to this 48 machine to get him messed up, and I just don't think it is going to be what we expect. Let's get a little moving forward. Looks like he's coming out of pit road. All right, let's see what happens here.
Being too aggressive on trying to get as much speed on pit exit, caught the banking, and it just whipped it around.
Oh, no. Boy, I guarantee some words are going to be said to that 48 machine, because all those guys who just pit are now all a lap down for the rest of the race here tonight, and we will go ahead and bring that up to you as soon as I can get back on pace here. Really, it's going to be this is trouble for a lot of the drivers out there. This is going to be absolutely game-changing, if you ask me. What happens now? The guys who are now going to pit, if the ones who have already pit stay out, they're now going to end up still behind, in the running here to see who gets back under control. I mean, this is just crazy to me. Because this will put almost half the field a lap down.
This is turning to quite the strategy race. Jeremy Richmond decides to pit for fuel, presumably, but other drivers have decided to stay out. That includes Ira Colas, who was in 6th position and is still in 6th, so anyone behind them who is a lap down is going to stay a lap down. That includes Batby, so this has just mixed everything up. Somehow Brendan Fetterplace has made his way up to first. Martin Plute, after being in that caution and having taken his fast repair, is now in 2nd, so who knows what will happen now.
Yeah, as we're going to kind of take a look here in the yellow boxes is when these guys pit and their fastest lap times of the night. So we're going to kind of roll through the top 5 here. Brandon Fetterplace, Martin Plute, William Britton there. Jeffrey Goodpaster doing a great job after that fall back. Has fought his way back up into the 4th. Ira Colas in the 29 machine in the 5th position. But we're going to work our way back. Let's take a look here I believe the 78. Looks like Villalobos there. So you kind of see when these guys have pit. Jeremy Richmond went ahead and pit. So you see he went from the lead only back to 8th place. Not hateful. Still top 10. But now's where things start to change as we get back to the 12 machine. You know, see Christopher Miller here. And bang, we got all the way from 16th back is now a lap down because of, because of what happened here. We got Paul Bojanic, Alan Bledsoe, Ian Janik, even Ben Mashburn. These guys all just pit for fuel and trying to get back out here to get this thing under their belt. But, just look how many. Anthony Monroe, Zachary DeNinas, Nick Alford, Phoenix Maynard. Holy cow. Just how many drivers are now behind the 8 ball? How are you going to... You would have to expect a quick caution after that, you not being involved, to get back on the lead lap here.
It's changed everything up. Luckily, Batby was able to keep on the lead lap, so he managed to get very lucky there. But for Nick Alford and the rest of the gang back there, it's now going to be a fight to get the lucky dog spot.
I see what you're saying. So almost he got in just in the nick of time to go ahead and get this thing under control. Wow. So we are trying to get this thing under control here. Got a little bit of trouble there. There we go. And Christopher Darling says he is handing off the flag, the MGR flag, to Martin Plute tonight. But we'll keep an eye out for Mr. Martin Plute up in the 2nd position. But, really best place to be, especially after using that fast repair. But, man, wow. It's just, this is going to change everything here, Kynan. You can't, there's no way there can be that many cautions to get that many lucky dogs to get these guys back on track. So, a lot of guys are going to have to sacrifice out here to get back on the lead lap, because that may have sealed their deal. Only 50 laps into this race. With
right now,
out of 217.
Yeah, right now for that, it's just going to really be a fight to make it to lap 65 when the stage caution will come out. Then whoever is in front out of the lap cars for that will get the wave round, and then after that, who knows what will happen. Yes, you are a lap down, but if you can fight, and you've got to fight hard now, you can still win this race. But it's going to be very difficult now.
Oh yeah, and we're taking a little ride along here with Martin Plute, man, just trying to see how he's going to set this thing up. You do see the fine banking of these turns, so really, this is going to be crazy. This changes everything in the race. But fortunately, a lot of the drivers that were able to skate by, were able to go ahead and stay out front as we line up for that restart zone right there in the Geico restart zone. There we go, as it looks like Brandon Fetterplace has gone ahead and made his move and actually changed his race line there a little bit, but no fear, he did cross the line before he did that. And now, man, look at that, being able to get that entry through that turn he wants and start putting distance on Martin Plute there.
Martin Plute looked to have messed up his corner of just entering a lot more tight, and we got another caution. That's going to help the cars massively.
Oh no, but we got a massive pileup back here. It looks like Paul Bojanic there. He is the one who is around as we drum up our next replay. Go ahead, Kynan, give me a count. How many we at there, bud?
For cars involved or caution count?
Caution count.
That would be caution number 4.
Alrighty, and we are actually going to take a look at Paul Bojanic here in that 25 machine. Let's see. As we get to our caution replay here in that Michelin chopper view, let's take a quick peek and see what happened there. Full speed as we take a look at the 25 machine. Whoa! 25 would not be the fault. The number 2 actually got around, collected the 8 and the 25. 23 got a little nibble there on that one. Little damage, but man, that is... Wow. I wonder what happened to that 2 car for him to get that loose. Robert King coming off that turn there. I believe he may have broken that car So he will most likely be using that fast repair to get that thing squared away. Let's see if we can find a good shot here. There we go. There we go. Let's take a little look out there. Behind the 3 car, dead center of your screen, black and gold car, and it looks like Robert King there down on the bottom. Let's take a look and see. Man, it's just like it jerked. And then look at the avoidance by most of those drivers. Excellent. Staying low. You see these guys do kind of riding up the track, at least trying to stay in line with what's going on. But, you know, not terrible. Let's take a ride along, actually, with that 2 car. I want to ride along with him and see what happened. To see as he got through this turn. What do you say,
If my memory serves me correct, there is a little bump on the exit of 2, so if you get over that wrong, and with how much load is going through the tires, it's very easy to overstep how much grip they have in. He did good to keep it down there, but in the middle, the 82 also got very loose and then came flying down, and as the 2 was trying to come up and redress, then they just come together.
All right, well, let's take a ride along here with Robert King, and let's see if we can see that bump you're talking about. Oop. Yeah, may have just gotten a little loose there. And just, yeah, it almost seemed like a slight overcorrection there. Maybe a little off the gas and then back into it instead of steering control. Maybe kind of play with the throttle there. But I am not in the driver's seat. He is, so really we'll have to see how this go ahead and works out for him as we try to move that. Yeah, there we go. That right front suspension. So Robert King did sustain some heavy damage right there to that machine. So yeah, for some of these other drivers, this is going to be kind of tricky. You know, I mean, yeah, a quick caution, yeah, absolutely. That gets another driver back on the lead lap, especially for a lucky dog position. So, should be exciting to see how far we can get this thing back under control.
No, how about, just so it sounds a little bit nicer, well, let's just say that the drivers for, you know, let's get another car onto the lead lap, you know, make things a little bit more interesting. That's what they did, yep.
I see.
Yep,
so
just a little bump in the track.
Yeah, at this point, it looks like Alan Bledsoe is the last guy on the lead lap back there in the 16th position. I know Nick Alford and Ben Mashburn would like to be up there in the running. I don't think either one of those 2 gentlemen there were able to get the lucky dog position, but they will be battling it out on this restart here to see who actually up front can go ahead and get back on that lap, as they're having to kind of shuffle this field up here a little bit. The race control kind of trying to coach them around where to go. You know, after that kind of the bumping and banging we just kind of saw from that last wreck there. So, man, kind of this is something. Pace car lights are off, you know, and really this Brandon Fetterplace, and probably the safest spot he can be. But interesting to see him take the outside line this time.
Yeah, it is very curious, and why he did it, he'll only really know. But having now worked with race champions from other leagues that I compete in, and now being on their team, I've heard that when they've been leading, they have opted to choose the line that's typically not preferred, just so then they can feel what the car is going to do if they get put there, if they get overtaken and then they have to start second, then they can feel what the inside's like, or vice versa. No, just having that bit more flexibility so you know what your car is going to launch like, know what the run's going to be like, just having a bit more of an understanding just in case.
Yeah, this is going to be quite exciting to see on this restart how these guys, you know, really kind of feel out the track. Martin Plute definitely not want to get caught sleeping on this restart here, as we're going to come up here pretty soon to that next actually competition caution. I don't think there have been enough here for that competition caution to be quite so soon. That will be starting on 65, as we see the number 20 and the 91, both Toyota machines up in the front row. Jeffrey Goodpaster and Ira Colas there in 3rd and 4th, and they're going to have to chase down Brandon Fetterplace here, as he gets a great launch there, and away he goes. So really, that 20 machine, ooh, as Ira gets a little loose there, maybe getting a little nudge, so we'll keep an eye on that, as we see once again that 98 machine. Look at him going ahead and taking it, being the meat in the sandwich in that 3 wide. but he decides to hang out. He pushes through, and now Jeremy Richmond up into the top 5, 4th position, really putting moves on Jeffrey Goodpaster. I know we're spending a lot of time on Jeremy Richmond tonight, but man, he has got a ton of speed out of this car.
Yeah, this grip that he's been able to extract from his car is very good. He probably took tires, but how much is this going to come to haunt him in the end? If we do then go green, and that'll be the best case scenario. If it stays green, then won't need to worry about tires as badly. But if we get cautions, then that's going to hurt him. If he's only got 4 extra sets, that's going to become quite the detriment.
Oh yeah, but right now, that 45 Chevrolet of Jacob Fifield working on that outside of Jeremy Richmond may be his preferred line. But right now, Jeremy Richmond is kind of showing the line you have to run to stay fast. Really, a lot of speed out of that 98 machine of him getting around here at Texas. We appreciate you joining us here at 10-4 Broadcasting as we see, battles everywhere on this track, so it is hard to keep track of every single one of them. But we are roping in as many as we can as we see Britton in the back there kind of watching Kelly Thomas making some moves there in that 51 machine getting around. But really, William Britton has not pit since lap 24 along with Brandon Fetterplace. So these guys, have got to be starting kind of ticking down. Are they going to make that fuel stop to make it all the way here toward the end of the stage?
Yeah, they should be able to make it to the end, but with how the cautions are, that's also going to come into a benefit. But maybe when Jeremy Richmond did pit, he only took fuel, and that's why his pace has now kind of died off after getting past Martin Plouffe. He is slowly catching Fetterplace, but compared to the 45 of Fifield, it's not even close with the pace difference. So I'd say that Richmond just decided to take fuel only and use the previous tires that he had.
Yeah, we're looking at that. No, let's see, that number 12 machine of Christopher Miller. I know we were kind of keeping an eye on Martin Plouffe actually kind of dying off right there. He may have gotten out of sorts and really kind of rolling back through the field. It's kind of a dangerous thing to happen. You want to pass one guy, 2 guys, but when you start getting a row of about 4 or 5, one miscommunication with the spotter, and we may have some trouble. But right now, the battle for the lead has ended, and Brandon Fetterplace is rolling his way back to the 4th position. As it happens just that fast, as it looks like Jacob Fifield up here in the 45 machine has gone ahead and pulled away. I believe by 2 seconds already. He's worked a way around Kelly Thomas. 2 seconds behind, and we have a caution.
Caught that off the corner of my screen. That was a big one.
As we are just now catching the end of it, we have rolled back here to Matthew Batby, who's worked up into the top 10, and we're going to get another caution here, unfortunately. What in the world happened there? And we're going to see if we can find out what happened here. I will not say that the driver that caused it, but we are going to look at Ira Colas here. And I think Ira may actually...
Well, that's going to conclude stage 1.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, okay, wow. All right, everybody. I will not spread the secrets from this point. I will let you make the choice that you want as I try to find our best camera angle. Here we go. It looks like Nick Alford. Actually, this is quite unfortunate, and right now, good thing this is electronic, because right now, that fast repair will be required as we see Nick Alford here in that 95 machine. Watch this. If the car wasn't destroyed already, we collect one more, and boy, it starts happening from there. It looks like Ira Colas gets around, and there everyone's dodging from there. That got ugly.
I only saw Alfred's little head-on into the wall and then William Britton getting in, but I didn't see the rest of it, but that happened very quickly.
Yeah, as we're going to kind of take a peek at Ira here and kind of see how it goes. Whoop, 29's around. But kind of look how they kind of slice it around, trying to make it around. The 2 cars spinning around. King trying to avoid that one. Holy cow. That was some driving right there. some of those drivers there. And let me see if I can find somebody who survived. All right, man. Really, this is something here. Out of what we see here. Man, really, I can't get much, much easier as we get going here, really to see what happens. But I will give us a ride along actually with Edward Marshall and his 16 Ford machine, and kind of let's see, the decisions he makes to keep out of this one here at Texas. Nick Alfred's already collected in the wall. Oh, and then the second pile up. Here it comes. Man, wow. But yeah, but you see how calm, cool, collected, not really jerking the wheel around, and was kind of able to just maintain and work his way through. So, yeah, that was something there. Let's see which other drivers kind of got collected up in that one. As we see, let's see, actually, I want to take a peek at Riley Hoots and see where he ended up in that one. Riley Hoots, I believe in that target machine, number 24. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Oh, middle of the track, nowhere to go, and looks like a bowling ball down the alley. That was not good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that concludes that caution there. And so, unfortunately for some of these guys, there is a safety for that fast repair, being able to get these things back under control. I would completely expect at this point that this will most likely be the stage caution. Not 100% sure. I know we are watching right now. Riley Hoots is about 2 laps down, but we can float up to one of the fast drivers on the track, Jeremy Richmond. So we are in lap 65, so that should be our stage caution right there. So I believe everybody pit. I believe, yep, lap 63 and 64. So this should be a good refresher right here, Kynan, as these guys getting tires, getting fuel, and going to go ahead and give this thing a shootout for the second, the next third of the race.
I can confirm that was counted as the stage caution, but just now having this caution going into stage 2, you need to now refresh yourself, learn, and think about what happened in stage 1, see what you can improve on, what you can do better, and if you can really make a bit more work in stage 2.
Yeah, really good thing to see is some of these guys out here, with the a full field and things like this happening. It looks like a little bit of we'll have to watch the conduct of some of these drivers out here. I know 2 just got bent up a little more than he wanted to right there, so I'm not quite sure what's happening with some of these drivers here in the back. So I'm sure race control will keep an eye on that. Unfortunately, we did have to grab some of that. But, man, Federer Place up here in the lead. Matthew Batby in 3rd. Jeremy Richmond 2nd. Martin Plute in 4th. Jeffrey Goodpaster in 5th. So we'll have to see. And really, it's something to note. The fastest driver on the track, who has laid the fastest time of a 29.99, was Edward Marshall out there in this 16 machine. So, man, he must have gotten one heck of a run, and some of these other guys have got to figure out how to pick up that extra 10th, but he is respectably up there in the 6th position. So, top 10 right now for him, really entering stage 2. So, it'll be exciting to see where he ends up here toward the end of this next stage.
Yeah, having that pace is going to give him some confidence. He might not know he's currently got the fastest lap unless he's tuned into the broadcast and just listening to the side, which I know there is some drivers that do, but just having that pace there, you just need to find how you can unlock it for the entire run, not just a single lap. It doesn't matter if you can do it once, you need to do it over and over again. That's where you'll see the fastest drivers be able to be up front, just because they're able to carry that speed throughout an entire run and not just a single lap.
We'll definitely have to watch this. Is this full field of drivers here? I mean, just so many guys out here on the track. I'm excited to see how many more could get this done. as we are going to go ahead and see if we can get this back under control and underway. Let's go ahead and get that spotter tower right there. Let's see how this restart zone. Look at that. Jeremy Richmond nudging down into Brandon Fetterplace there, letting him know he's there. Oh, man, he's got to be careful not to pass him before that line. Holy cow, as we look right there, as Martin Plute giving a little pressure there to Matthew Batby on the bottom. Jeremy Richmond taking a little bit of speed off that turn. You know, especially with these fresh tires, they're going to have a little bit of trouble. Look like Jeffrey Goodpaster in the 33, fighting back there with the 16, and we've got a caution.
We got a big one.
Man, it looks like we caught just the end of Monroe kind of spinning it back around. Alan Monroe out back there in the 82 machine. So we'll kind of roll it back here and see what in the world happened. To see how, you know, who and why and how this got collected.
Correction initiated by the 32. Oh.
Yeah, I see it too. Easy. As I believe Ballard might be our guy in that 32 machine, and we are going to see if we can get that producer to get us a good view of what exactly happened here, because that is not a pretty one. There we go. All right, well done, producer. You did a fantastic job. Robert Ballard Jr. here in that 32 machine. Let's see what happens. Ooh, way loose, and then just starts collecting cars. Oh, boy. Bledsoe got caught up in that one. Wow. You know, and for some of these drivers here in the back, I mean, this has just got to be, absolutely backbreaking for you to get this thing, you know, really what to do. I have to see if that car moves, but, man, I don't know. He may have to tow that one as that car got folded up something fierce for that machine. Man, this is tough. This is not a good showing for this race team here. Let's take another look at it of that 32 machine and probably roll it back a little bit and see if he ended up with any kind of problems here. Let's see. Oh boy, he's sliding already. Collects it. Oh, back up into the track. Oh, and then just starts collecting. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man. So at least 6 more drivers caught up in that one. Really kind of, dang. You know, and when you're battling up front trying to get, you know, back on the lead lap, this is kind of what you hate to see. But for the guys who are staying out of trouble and working to get their way back to the front, you know, this is going to work out great for them because the more this happens, the more Lucky Dog positions are available. So, I know, Stellar Stella, you are out there watching us in the chat. I know we do see a few of these cautions we've spent together, and I know it's kind of rough. I will admit it wasn't as bad as, I believe, that New Hampshire run. But, you know, this it is cleaned up, and Texas is a bit of a tough track. And, you know, I would kind of blame this on cold tires. I don't think they're really letting them set in quite as well. The track has cooled down to 80 degrees, so it is going to take a lot longer to get these tires to start tacking up and you know, being able to you know, make the maneuvers you're trying to get up front, you know, to hook.
It definitely looks like they're just getting loose and just struggling to then catch it. So I'd say with how the steering is also, you've been seeing that, I'm pretty sure with every single wreck bar one now, it's been from overcorrection and then the car just then shooting up the track. We saw it with Plute, just got a little bit of assistance and then he's had to counter steer. That shot him into the wall going into travel. Alfred we saw just get a clip that sent him up into turn 4 wall. And now here we saw Ballard Jr. just get loose on the bottom. He tried to keep it down, but then it just started to snap up the track, and then it's just with how the steering is, it's very hard to catch. It just snaps all whenever it wants because of how much more responsive it is. Very difficult, but once the drivers start getting a bit more used to it, I'm sure we'll be able to clean it up. At least compared to New Hampshire, we are getting green flag runs in. And we can say it's either a good or a bad thing, but we're having more than just a self spin. We're having it be a bit more dramatic, I guess. Is it one way to say? You can decide if that's a good or a bad thing. Obviously, it's not good for the competition. It's going to be drawn out then. Cars are going to start dropping from damage, but it means that there's going to be less chance of a caution to happen as cars start to drop.
Yeah, as we kind of see a couple of guys deciding to go ahead and pit a little later here. Ben Mashburn in at 70, Bledsoe in at 69. I may be getting just that little extra splash of fuel. Right now, I believe Zachary D. Nenis there in the 99 will be our lucky dog if another caution comes out, but hopefully there's not. Quick checkup on Riley Hoots. They're in the 19th position. I'm trying to get that vertical ticker. That way you guys can see everybody out here on the track of what's going on. Really kind of some of these guys, you know, Ben Mashburn, last guy on lead lap as we work our way back up front. Kelly Thomas up there in the 51 machine. So really kind of seeing everybody getting a chance. We have seen this field shuffle so much. I mean, Kelly Thomas has moved up 18 positions since the beginning of the race. So this is a very fast-moving driver here. So I'm curious to see how you know, if we can maintain that amount of speed and consistency.
Yeah, with these wrecks and how the strategies are mixing up, it's meaning faster drivers are having to go back, and we've seen now how big checkup, but we've seen how many big wrecks have been now occurring, and you just have a bad pit stop, you fall back a little bit, you're in the middle of it. Ooh, gotta be careful when drifting up.
Oh yeah, as Jeremy Richmond we see right there getting super loose, catching Martin Plute right there on the quarter panels. We see him right there in the middle of our screen. So really, here we go. Looks like Edward Marshall going to go ahead and try his luck, given that 98 machine. But we have seen Jeremy Richmond making that push and getting these things around and collected. So I know we are up here in the skybox taking a look at this race as these guys are starting to separate. Martin Plute taking a little sniff around the backside of Matthew Batby in the 89 machine. But boy, these guys, that top three, they have taken off, and with authority at this point. Jeremy Richmond already off second off the pace, so these guys are marching back, and those top three have pulled away. So you know, you got to be thinking, you know, Brandon Fetterplace and Matthew Batby in that last race at the Rock. Like I was saying, these two were, you know, I don't think the grudge is there, but it's got to be. You know, it's still there. You know, you're still thinking about it, going, man, you know, I was running almost top 10, and, you know, 5 to 8 laps from the end, you know, I kind of get rear-ended and totaled out of the race. I think it was, you know, it was a racing incident. It shouldn't have happened. Wrong place, wrong time, but, man, you just got to be thinking, you know, that was absolutely killer, especially when you're trying to collect points for the season.
Yeah, it is real unfortunate that it happened, especially at the end where there's no chance to be able to recover, but was able to take a learning experience from it, and luckily third place was able to win the clash and pick up extra 20 points, so that is going to give him a bit of a buffer, but still unfortunate for it to happen, but these things will happen in racing.
Yeah, we do have quite a separation here. We have 2 Toyotas, 2 Chevys, and 1 Ford up here in the top 5. So we can't really say a car line has Texas at this point, as we got a good spread of these guys up in the front. Jeffrey Goodpaster, the only one running a Ford machine there in that 33 Superflow car. So, man, I'm excited to see, you know, really Jeffrey Goodpaster making a good turnout here. You know, I believe we missed him last week, and we missed Isaac Emerson last week, but we will man, we could still keep an eye out for those guys. I know Isaac Emerson said he'll be out there with his Harley. I am jealous. I think about it all the time. I miss my Harley, but right now I am missing getting out on the track. So Jeffrey Goodpaster has kind of got my chip in his corner, hoping he can go ahead, stay up here in the top 5, and give us a great show here, kind of.
Yeah, right now he kind of been a bit more all over the place, having dropped back early on, came back with tires, but fell back a little bit more again. But right now, running in 5th place, keeping with Jeremy Richmond, not really looking to pass right now, but if something happens in the top 3, these two here in the 4th and 5th position are going to benefit very, very healthily if they can keep out of it.
Yeah, we're kind of taking a look there. Boy, it looked like somebody kind of clipped that wall back there toward the back. I believe that was Brian Messer clipped that back wall in the back, on the backside, so we will keep an eye on him. Looks like Edward Marshall's going to try and make a move on the 45 machine, a 5-field there, but man, even farther up, Martin Plute. Boy, he has given Matthew Batby something to think about on the inside of these turns. So I'm curious to see, some of these guys are following in line and others are popping out. Do you think any kind of engine temperature may be a factor here at this race?
For tonight, I wouldn't necessarily say that there shouldn't be too much of a risk, but it could also just be poking your nose out just so you can see what the leader or whatever car is in front of the car that you're battling for is potentially doing, or if the car in front of you gets a bit loose on entry and has to go up the track, then you're already in position to be ready to capitalize if possible.
Now, if you were in Martin Plute's shoes here, following behind Matthew Batby, do you try to follow his line? I mean, we kind of see Martin Plute kind of sneaking by, trying to get a good look, and, you know, it just kind of gets close and then doesn't quite get it there at some points, you know. Would it be best to try to stay single file and draft here, you know, or is it really, you know, kind of, you know, driver's choice at this point?
For me personally, I'd want to be a bit more single file, start thinking about my tires, just take it easy through the turns, then maybe if possible enter a little bit higher to then cut down a little bit. What they'll do is, when you're following a car, you're getting all that hot turbulent air in. I've found, especially in Super Lane models, I've found it in particular from a league I used to do, that once you are stuck behind a car, then your tires start to overheat more because you're having all that hot turbulent air hitting. Then that's heating your tires up, which means you are going to risk sliding more. So you will see some drivers just try poking out a little bit more just to try pick up some clean air to potentially cool the tires down.
All right, and we are taking a look here at the 54 machine of Brian Messer, trying to make a little move here on Christopher Miller in the number 12. Let's see if he can go ahead and get around there with that Toyota and see if he can make it happen. Looks like he might have it, but can he hold on? But someone we haven't talked about a bunch there, number 42 of Alan Bledsoe. He's working his way there as we take a little look in the chat for our little insider information. The number 2 car of Robert King, and I believe the number 22 of Phoenix Mattern there for some racing incidents and damage. They have been parked for the night. So really nice, you know, interesting to see race control really putting their foot down to some of these drivers out there. You know, I hate to see it happen, but you know, you do have to maintain some sort of, you know, decorum out here on the track. So Robert King, Phoenix Mattern out there right now. Back into the garage, and they will have to give this thing another shot. You know, I know we were looking at more green flag laps, and they just maybe just caused one too many incidents there, Kynan.
Yeah, it is a gut punch to those drivers, especially this early on. You don't want to do, because then you can't even gain experience just from running. At least when you're damaged and multiple laps, then you can at least stay out on track and pick up some experience with the car. But when you're parked or you can't repair the car and have to be in the pits, then you may as well just go do your own thing in the pits. Maybe go play some cards, because it's not like you can gain any more experience now.
Yeah, maybe a good idea to go ahead and practice for next week's race. Man, really, it's something to see, you know, kind of what these guys are able to do here. Ben Mashburn kind of just lost his move out there from the top 10, but it looks like Jeffrey Goodpaster getting a little bit of trouble there just on the edge of our screen as we move up there. He's kind of taking more of that high line, and it's kind of he gets a good running at the beginning, but now he has worked his way back to the 9th position. Woo, easy there. So I'm wondering if that back wall right there kind of crept up on him there, kind of.
Yeah, that turn 2 wall can really sneak up on you. I've gotten into it multiple times without realizing that I was drifting up that quickly, so It is possible that it spooked him a little bit. It is also possible that maybe
Ooh.
he'll hit a little bump and it got sideways a little bit, so he had to correct it, but is dropping back, but not the end of the world. He still has a car left underneath him, so I'm sure we'll see him work his way back up.
Yeah, really aggressive move there by Ben Mashburn, working his way under Jeffrey Goodpaster, knocking him out of the top 10. That 4 machine taking that cut on the infield to get around him. Really, Ben Mashburn really must want to get up front. He's kind of getting tired of hanging around there in the back. Last lap, he ran about half a second faster. That one about a 10th second faster than Jacob Fifield in the 45 he's trying to catch right now. But as soon as he catches that draft of that 45, he's going to start getting a lot of speed and getting his way up here. But really, on the move right now, Brandon Fetterplace going ahead and keeping that lead out in front of Matthew Batby. But I think Batby may be kind of hanging back a little bit, trying to conserve those tires in case, maybe trying to, once again, save another set for the end.
Batby had the pace earlier on in this race. He will know that now and isn't really needing to push too hard. So he's going to look to the outside, going into free. If he wants to keep fighting, he's got to keep it a bit more planted. Luckily, he's going to be able to then cut down, think about maybe going into turn 1, but instead just deciding to ride, take it easy, save some tire instead of burning it up and costing them later on.
Oh, yeah, and then working their definite top 5 here. Brandon Fetterplace, Matthew Batby, Jeremy Richmond win the 3rd position. Martin Plute 4th. Anthony Monroe in the 82 machine working his way into the 5th place. So good to see Anthony Monroe being able to kind of turn some of those follies in the backfield around a little bit and getting his way up toward the front where maybe there isn't so much trouble. Just flat out racing. Villalobos in 6th. Alan Bledsoe 7th. Edward Marshall has rolled his way back into the 8th position, so he's 2 spots back actually from where he started, so this should be a pretty comfortable place for him. And Ben Mashburn has worked his way up into the 9th position with Jacob Fifield behind him in the 45 machine.
So far, the drivers are keeping it fairly clean right now. Maybe they're holding out for the next stage caution, which I'm going to quickly find where that is exactly.
Yeah, but I was going to say, but right now Matthew Batby just took the lead away from Brandon Fetterplace. We kind of popped in on them right there as we were working our way through the top 10, but Brandon Fetterplace, man, look at that, getting a little loose, trying to keep speed there. And I'm just wondering, he just kind of pounces. And Matthew Batby's like a lion out there in the savannah, man. He just kind of crouches down, he waits for you to make that mistake, and then he just capitalizes. And we noticed that out of another one of our leagues, Robert Rader in our league with the Racing Revolution. He kind of just waits for you to make the mistake. He's not always the fastest guy out there, but he is consistent. And right now, Matthew Batby and his consistency is really a lot of what these guys come here to the High Octane Sim Series to compete with, is see, can you beat the best of the best out here and make this thing happen and get these guys, really, to me, kind of, this is almost where you want to line up with these guys, join their team and kind of figure out what to, how to make it work. If that Kenny Powers Motorsport there can really see if, how do you get so much speed and stay out front every race there, kind of.
Yeah, when you're in a team environment where you're constantly around those who you can bounce off and learn from, it's going to benefit the entire team. So Batby may be good at one track, but Hoots may be good at another, so then they can kind of bounce off each other, figure out where each other's strengths and weaknesses are, so then they can work together. And then if they can interlock those ideas, so then it can become one formidable team. And we've seen just how good they've been at really every track we've been to. They've been competitive no matter where we've gone. We've seen Batby and Hoots up near the front, so just having teammates that you can compare yourself to and learn from will go a long way.
Yeah, and a little shout out there to Riley Hoots. He is 19th position, unfortunately still 2 laps down, so he's going to have to make a sacrifice to get his way toward the front. But right now, Martin Plute sacrificing a lot of positions here. He is in the 6th, but he's going to have to hold off Alan Bledsoe in the 42 as Julio Villalobos and Anthony Monroe went ahead and kind of got around that 91 machine. So we'll kind of keep an eye out to see if that Twisted Steel stake appeal machine of that Toyota is going to stay in contention here, man, because he has fallen off a lot here in the past couple laps.
Yeah, he's just been slowly dropping back. I'd say tires are starting to take effect for him now, so he's probably just now not really having to defend. No point on defending something that you know will just inevitably end in a wreck if you defend too hard. So just deciding to have the patience just to then let him by and try and get him back in the end. He doesn't have that fast repair, but he does have the pace. That will go a long way if he can have a car to be able to race in the end.
Yeah, Jeremy Richmond's trying to reel in Brandon Fetterplace here. These guys only about 2/10 off each other. Matthew Batby has gone ahead and put a 1 second lead on Brandon Fetterplace, so these guys are going to have to make up a lot of ground to get up front, as they looks like, I believe they're starting to hit race traffic there a little bit. Yeah, it looks like Matthew Batby's going to go ahead and actually use that favorable draft. I believe that's off the backside of Nick Alford there in the 95 machine. Nick Alford pit on lap 77. I think he got tied up in one of those accidents. It looks like he had a big time pit stop there he had to make and make a huge repair to get his car fixed. But man, he's kind of able to stay out front and kind of pull away. But you know, we'll have to see if any of that lap traffic is going to give him some trouble. But as I say that, it looks like that 95 machine has gone ahead and pulled away from Matthew Batby there. But we'll have to see if any of these guys in the top 5 really start reeling each other in together. You know, if Jeremy Richmond here, yeah, look at that, going to go ahead and make a move there on Brandon Fetterplace. Yeah, and kind of goes ahead and gives Fetterplace a little room there. I believe that was Edward Marshall kind of pulling out a pit from what I saw, as Jeremy Richmond moves up into the second position there, kind of.
Yeah, Fetterplace seemed to not really want to fight Richmond there, just deciding to just let him go. Richmond goes very high in turn 3 and 4. Be interesting to see if Fetterplace can maybe think about fighting him on exit, but Richmond, just having a little bit of extra tire life, was able to carry the needed momentum that he needed to on that high line. Even though it did cost his run in the middle of the corner, he was able to carry enough to be able to keep out in front, but it's brought Fetterplace back into it. They got to be careful when dicing up around each other like that, because all it'll take is one little slip up and suddenly they're both in the wall.
Yeah, I know we are watching the battle for second and third position, but there's also a battle back there for the 5th and 6th. But wow, man, Fetterplace gets a little loose off there. Jeremy Richmond standing there like a statue, not giving up 1 inch and standing firm to not go ahead and give up an inch to him at this point, as he stays on the outside, promoting his will. Yeah, he wants to stay out front of Fetterplace. He does not want to follow behind anymore, as he goes ahead and starts putting a little bit of distance on that 20 machine. But, you know, these guys have over 30 laps, almost 40 on these tires, so they got to start watching that window as they come right now to 40 laps on those tires. So definitely starting to feel the pain, starting to work their way through, but we are getting pretty close to the stage break here pretty soon. But I believe we're about 30 away from that, aren't we, kind of?
31, 32 laps away from it once we hit the line, so we will need to make a green flag pit stop unless there's a caution. Batby almost got screwed over by the last time, had to make a green flag pit stop, but luckily the caution came out at the perfect time that he didn't lose a lap. So you got to be careful when making the green flag pit stop. It is going to be inevitable unless we get a caution, but then if we do get a caution, you got to hope that it doesn't come at a point that you either can't make it to pit road because of pit lane entry being closed, or you go a lap down and then the caution comes out and then you're suddenly stuck a lap down.
Yeah, there's a little bit of battle back here with Julio Villalobos and Alan Bledsoe here for the 5th and 6th position. We are coming up on lap 106 out of 217. Still a lot of racing left to go here, man. Really, a lot of these drivers they're starting to feel it. They're starting to, feel starting to wear down on them of how they're going to get through the rest of this race. As we've seen, it looks like James Brosecker there in the 9th position, number 3 car. But man, really, what are they doing back here? A lot of cars kind of getting mixed up here on the backstretch. Look like Ben Mashburn's kind of dicing it up in there with some of them. Ben Mashburn's a lap down. Martin Plute's a lap down. So I think some of these guys are starting to really pit. Ben Mashburn pit on lap 99 along with Jacob Fifield and Martin Plute, respectively, pitting on lap 100. So we are seeing that fuel window kind of close for these guys, but I'm curious to see if any speed gets picked up. Ben Mashburn did pick up a 31.2, but he was in a little bit of traffic there. So we'll have to see if he can start really putting some speed down there. I may be wrong. He may have gone ahead and opted for tires there, kind of.
Bat B has just entered pit lane. Sorry to cut you off there, Bart. Bat B has come onto pit. He's going to relinquish the lead, Bart. He's going to be able to make up a lot of time with those tires, Bart. When do the cars behind decide to pull their trigger?
Well, looks like Brandon Fetterplace as well. Looks like he went ahead and came down pit road, and really, this is gonna be tricky for some of these drivers because now Richmond's out there in the lead, but he decides to go ahead, throw up his white flag, and go ahead and come down pit road. He has signaled to everybody he's there, and I believe that should be Riley Hoots behind him as well. Ooh, a little speed through the pit road there. Kind of got to be careful. But we've seen that out of Riley Hoots. I mean, he's not an aggressive driver. He just drives with his head down and very aggressive and makes the moves when he needs to get through this. So, really, I'm interested to see how some of these drivers, when they decide to pit. I know that Julio Villalobos, he needs to pit now. I mean, he is the last one in the top 5 who is yet to pit. There we go. As it looks like Villalobos is coming down. So right now, at this point in time, Martin Plute, who pit on lap 100, should obtain the lead as long as he can stay clean out front. He will be our next race leader up in the front while these other guys are down pit road. So really, Martin Plute has about a 4-second gap on Matthew Batby, but not for long. Matthew Batby did pit 8 laps later than Martin Plute, and we've seen how bad the tire fall off does happen here. So, kind of in your situation here, as Martin Plute, do you run and gun? Do you try to put this thing to the floor and try to outrun Matthew Batby? Or do you try to play the conservation game? You know he's going to catch you, but you need to save your tires for when when y'all decide to start battling.
Well, right now, I would be just more worried about my own race. I know Batby is a lot quicker and pitted a lot later than I did, so he's going to have the tire advantage. Plute is currently inside the window where the tires start to fall off a cliff, so he's not going to be able to really put up much defense against Batby with those new tires if Batby decides to go hard to catch up. But depending on how hard Batby goes will determine if Plute decides to fight him or not. But right now, Plute has track position. He's got the pace. I'd want to maybe just even let Batby go, run behind him, and then pick up the stage points.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is Matthew Batby actually ran a second slower than Ben Mashburn, who is now in the 3rd position. Ben Mashburn ran a 31.2, and Batby ran a 32.2. So I don't know if something's going on with that 89 machine, but he is falling off something fierce. He's almost 7 seconds off the pace, pitting much later, and falling back. So I don't know if the 89 machine is having some trouble out there. We'll keep an eye on that. Man, really, it's interesting to see if that Chevy's having some trouble. Because right now, Jacob Fifield there, up there in the 2nd position in that 45 machine, he shows no signs of slowing down, but he's got 5 seconds to make up on Martin Plute.
And now I'm looking in to see if maybe Batby is pulling any strategy. Looking like he may have not taken any tires, which would explain why he is so off the pace. So if that is the case, that's going to hinder him a lot when it comes for this little short run. But in the long run, if he did take no tires on that last stop, he's going to have an extra set.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you there. It looks like Matthew Batby, his pit stop was from beginning, pit, and end about 33 seconds. And Ben Mashburn, we're assuming, who's taking tires with the amount of speed these guys have, is about 41 seconds. So that is definitely keeping Matthew Batby up in the front in the top 5, but no, I mean, he is definitely losing a lot of time here. So, yeah, you may be right. He may be going ahead and running this stage end all the way to the end on the same tires. So that is going to be, almost a 60-lap stretch on the same set of tires. Now, we did discuss, it was about 31 laps that he could, that you can change your tires every time and make it to the end, I believe. Yeah, 31 laps, and then that way, you can make it to the end. So, really being able to have that extra set in the bag is going to work out perfectly for him. But I'm curious to see, how this works out. I figure stage caution for Matthew Batby will work out good. Everybody will come in, get tires, get fuel, and then he'll be able to battle it up there right again with him. It's just how long can he stay in this position before these other guys start reeling him in.
Yeah, another thing to consider is what happens if he's wearing the tire too much and before he makes it to the stage caution, a tire goes out and he's in the wall. It's very unlikely, but I've had it happen in a B Xfinity fixed race at Las Vegas. I had a tire go out. Apparently I was burning up my tires really badly. I didn't think I was, but if you have that happen, it can really mess you over, especially with how the car. Then with the tire model in iRacing, you kind of have speed, then it's suddenly no pace, and then it's suddenly flat lines, no pace again, flat lines, no pace again. So it's more of a stage with how the tires wear. It's not more gradual, it's more of a everything's fine. Oh, okay, where's my grip? Oh, I've got no grip. Oh no, I've lost the tire. So it's not so much.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's just he's just got to be careful. He's kind of got to baby this thing around the track here. But right now, Brandon Fetterplace, Brian Messer here, really trying to get these two cars to get kind of closed up together. Messer has gone ahead and pulled away by a second. We see Ian Janik there. I believe that number 25 machine, he is 5 laps down by my ticker. So he's got a lot of ground to make up to get this thing underway as these drivers keep making their rounds on the track here. You'll notice the track temperature picking up, but really not as much as we would normally see in Texas for a July day at only 81 degrees on the track. So curious to see if he can end up getting that thing collected. Let's go ahead and move our way up to the number 78 machine of Villalobos, who's working his way, staying in the 6th position right now. But Brian Messer, a lot of speed out of his car right now, so he must be another one of those drivers who took tires.
Yeah, it's likely that other drivers around most likely took tires just because of how the runs are and how much speed you're able to gain with taking tires. So if other drivers around aren't taking tires whilst you are, you're going to have a lot more pace and you are going to be able to pick up a bit of extra track position because of that, which could become very crucial. But if you don't have that extra set, then you may be a bit more of a sitting duck towards the end of the race with how much the tires do wear on this track.
Yeah, Brian Messer in this 54 machine that we are watching here is 1.5 seconds faster than Matthew Batby that he's chasing down in the 4th position. So he's, yes, he does have a lot of ground to make up, as we can see him working on the inside there. Look at that, beautiful move. And that just goes to show you what a fresh set of rubber will do to keep this car on the track and under control. So really, he's got a lot of ground to make up, but it's getting smaller and smaller every lap as he's only about let's see, about 4 seconds behind him now. So he's really reeling him in.
Yeah, you can see and have seen multiple times now this race. Those new tires are beautiful on the car. You get them on, it's like, wow, grip, this is the greatest thing ever. But you gotta then not abuse those tires, because if you do it too hard too early, then suddenly it's like, oh, where's all my speed gone? And now suddenly you become the person being attacked from behind. So it's nice having good tires early on, but you got to make them last.
Yeah, and I would be curious if any of these guys are going ahead and doing a little pit strategy, such as a driver like Brandon Fetterplace here, up here in the front, or Alan Bledsoe in the 42 and the 20 machine. These guys only pit, and I know it is a matter of seconds, but these guys only pit with about 37 seconds in pit. So that may just be a set of right-side tires there, Kynan, which is allowing them to stay up here in the top 10 and remain competitive since this track is eating the tires up pretty good.
Yeah, with taking right tires only, it's very hit or miss. You can't really do it in Xfinity because once you do, it gets very loose and to the point that it's near uncontrollable. So a driver has to be very confident with their car just to know what it's going to do. So if you feel you can handle right tires only and have the pace, and if your car is a bit too tight for your liking, you can take it or loosen the car up for the rest of the run, but it is a risk, and I've done it many times and it's worked out most times just because you're able to save multiple seconds, which can get you out in front of a car, get you out of potentially trouble, but you've got to then be able to keep control of your car.
And quick little update out there. Matthew Batby has been passed by Brian Messer in that 54 machine, so he has finally run him down and now putting the distance on him. So Brian Messer really in that Toyota machine going ahead and putting Matthew Batby's Chevy behind him as away he goes, but he's almost got the impossible. As right now Ben Mashburn in the 3rd position is let's see, quick mental math, 6, about 7 seconds in front of him. So Ben Mashburn doing a great job. I'm sure he's enjoying there up in the top 3. And if it were me from the outside, Chris Darling, right now, Ben Mashburn is your guy holding that Max Graphics flag here so far up here in the top 3. I mean, he's done great. He's made some moves, but I would just be worried in the back of my mind somewhere that, there's not enough tires to make it here to the end.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to tell if you used all your tires early on and then you physically can't change them. Then you've got to somehow make however many laps left without tires, and if it gets to the point that you wear the front right down to 0% and you go up into the wall, you may as well call it a night because you'll get the meatball flag, which just means you have to pit it and repair your damage. But if the damage is the tire and you can't physically change the tire, that's a DNF.
Yeah, really, we'll have to kind of see how this goes. Martin Plude up in the lead, Jacob Fifield in 2nd, Ben Mashburn in 3rd, 20 spots up from his original start. We are 7 laps away from our competition caution, 89 laps to go left in the race. Oh man, this as a driver, this has to be a grueling race. You got to really place where you're racing, where you want to be, how to get this thing done. And one small slip up, man, can just cost you so much in the long run. I mean, here at Texas, really, how is it to be up in the front? Martin Plude has been leading really the second half of this. After the green flag stopped. How does he approach the final half of the final stage of this race?
If anything, being up front for as long as he has, he's going to then have the confidence going into the final stage where you then have to repeat what you did, but maybe if you didn't like what you did, you change it again. So you just need to figure out what you can do to improve yourself, but just having that bit of extra confidence will go a very long way.
Yeah, it looks like I'm actually taking a quick peek here up on this vertical ticker. We'll actually move back here to Villalobos here in that 78 machine and just show you guys that 10th back, Brandon Fetterplace is now a lap down. So for a lot of these drivers, this is going to be pretty scary. If you were looking to get out there on that lead lap or get back in contention, you've got quite the hill to climb. This is going to be a lot harder than you were at the beginning of the race. Julio Villalobos here in 6th place, trying to reel in Matthew Batby. Got a long way to go before he can catch him. Alan Bledsoe and Jeremy Richmond, they're going to be battling back here pretty soon. But Edward Marshall firing on the inside. But Edward Marshall, man, really, it's interesting to see him moving as fast as he did for only pitting on lap 99. So I'm hoping he saves some of those tires in there. Seeing about a 40-second pit stop, so maybe not. But really, starting to see a lot of guys kind of really behind a lap, really to get back up front. If you're, let's say, you're not the 12 machine of Christopher Miller, I mean, I wouldn't know how to get back on the lead lap other than staying out during the competition caution.
Yeah, it's very hard to really depict how you're going to get back onto the lead lap. Some may just decide to, instead of potentially having to pit under green early on and then having to pit again later on, they may just instead pit under the stage caution, hope for multiple extra cautions, and then benefit from it that way. But it's either way, you're backing yourself into a corner, so
Oh,
it's a
man.
bit more out of your control.
Yeah, sorry about that, kinda. As we were looking at Christopher Miller, I went ahead and kept the camera on him, and he slid into pit road there. He actually got sideways and I think stalled the car out. So he's back running and down there, but that is going to cost him dearly, as this will be hopefully his longest pit stop of the night. He's already 22 seconds in, and we're not even in his pit box. So he's got a long way to go and over 18 spots before he can get out of pit road. So really, he's got a tall hill to climb, but we're working our way up here, up front, really. Martin Plute, since lap 100, has been leading up in the front from when he pit, doing a fantastic job, and we are under caution, so that should be the stage caution. So really, deep breath for a lot of these drivers out here. I'm assuming if you haven't pit yet, especially like Matthew Batby, now's the time for tires. And I'm really impressed, Kynan, to see that if Matthew Batby only took fuel, that he has survived and maintained the top 5.
Yeah, if he's been able to do that, I'd say it's contributed to how he ran earlier in the stint when everyone's tires were a bit more neutral. He was able to then extend a bit of a lead, and then with how he had that clean air and having that track position, was able to build a gap to then when it came to caution time, it just backed up a little bit more. So then he was able to just ride and have an extra set of tires if he did, in fact, take no tires on that last stop.
Yeah. Martin Plute, Jacob Fifield, Ben Mashburn, Brian Messer, Matthew Batby round out your top 5, followed by Alan Bledsoe, Edward Marshall, Jeremy Richmond, Anthony Monroe in the 82 machine, and James Brosecker, from what I'm showing right here, is in the 10th position, getting this thing kind of cleaned up and collected. So somebody I haven't seen is actually Goodpaster, and he is actually 4 laps down, back here in the 21st position. So I'm not sure if he got collected up in one of those wrecks or maybe just some tough pit stops for him tonight. He did pit on lap 123, so I would assume he would be one of those cars that is going to go ahead and stay out for this one, so it should only have him about maybe 3 laps down. We'll kind of see how they have to get this one done to stay up front and fast. But let's see here in a little bit who decided to go ahead and stay out. Looks like Bojanic decided to stay out in the 8 machine. So really, a lot of these drivers down pit lane number 1. You know, this is going to be tough for some of these drivers here, as we see Martin Plute exiting there. Boy, man, you gotta be thinking here, kind of 100%. I would put 4 tires on at this point, because if this thing goes green for the rest of the time, if there's another green flag stop, I would definitely right side tire, full tank of fuel, and run it to the end.
Yeah, take 4 tires now, and then later on take rights only if you're comfortable with it. If you don't feel confident in yourself to be able to keep control of it and gain time from it, then no point in risking it. But you may as well come and take 4 tires now. You're not going to lose as much as if you were to pit under green and do it.
Yeah, we're actually going to, let's see if we can go ahead and get one of our guys up here in the booth. Martin Plute, you got a copy?
Yep, how's it going, guys?
Oh, man, dude, you did a fantastic job racing, leading those laps there right toward the end of that stage caution. You know, how comfortable are you feeling out there on the track, and really, what's the tire situation looking like?
Comfortable on the track, I'm not. I hate this track. And tire situation is words I can't say on stream. We're not in a good spot, Patrick.
What? Not in a good spot. So you may have to do a little strategy here to keep this thing in contention. As you right now, it's showing you up in the front, up in the lead. I believe all the cars in front of you have gone ahead and trying to collect their laps back right now. But man, this is you got a lot of fast drivers behind you. You got one of your teammates. You got Ben Mashburn behind you. Unfortunately, Chris Darling was not able to make it. But you've got Matthew Batby and Edward Marshall and Jeremy Richmond. I mean, these guys have got a lot of speed. You know, really kind of what is your strategy to kind of stay out front of these guys? I mean, is it pedal to the metal at the beginning, or are you just going to kind of cruise and see how long you can hold on?
No, there's no chance I've got anything to stay up here tonight. You know, that first caution where I got spun around, that killed everything. I did not pay close enough attention to the tire situation, and it is going to catch up to me here in about I don't know, 60 laps. So it's not good. That just for context here, that was 40 lap run, and my right front was at 55%. So we are not in a good situation.
Oof.
And tire saving, not exactly my specialty.
Alrighty, well, we will see how you do in that Twisted Steel Stake Appeal Toyota. Hopefully you can stay out front, and Ben Mashburn, you guys can work together, because right now that 89 machine is on a tear. So teamwork can make the dream work, bud.
Yep, we'll see what we can do up here.
All right, bud, good luck.
Let's see, guys.
Get him back to that Max Graphics race room there. Man, he's got his work cut out for him here to see how he's going to keep that 91 machine out front. You know, I'm curious to see if Ben Mashburn can really get it done as well, kind of. And it's going to be some trouble. We do have a lot more to go. We got less than 80 laps, and it's just it's tough. How many cautions have we had so far this race? And that is excluding competition cautions, are kind of.
So I've actually lost count now a little bit just from paying attention to on-track, but I'd say about 5 or 6 without the stage cautions.
Yeah, I was going to say probably 5 unscheduled cautions. We knew we had 2 ejections actually from the race here tonight, the 2 and the 22. So, man, if you end in a 2, watch out, because these guys have their eyeballs out for you. So, Alan Bledsoe, be careful. But right now, we have Ben Mashburn, Martin Plute up in the front row as they line up for this Geico restart zone. Here we go. Let's see how that 91 machine, gives a good jam to the guys in behind him. Matthew Batby getting a little bit of that, so I don't know if they're going to be able to hold this on. As, boy, look at Batby having that perfect line. He is enjoying that shot, but wow. Kynan, do you see the amount of speed? How did they do? Look at the battle right here. Matthew Batby, holy cow. Where did he get all that speed?
Having those extra tires, he's able to push hard, whilst Plute has to ride more. So we heard how disheartened Plute sounded in that little mid-race interview, especially when talking about the tires. We knew tires were going to be an issue, but we didn't know who would have the issue. So real unfortunate. You see him dropping back now, but Batby having those extra sets of tires, he's on a roll with those brand new rubber on.
Yeah, that he is. Edward Marshall getting a little loose there behind Martin Plute there in that 16 machine. We'll have to see if Ben Mashburn of the Max Graphics race team can try to hold him in contention and keep him close. We know we've been watching most of this race. Matthew Batby can really take off, but right now, Fifield and the 45 and Martin Plute are already half a second off the lead. Ben Mashburn only a 10th off that rear bumper, so he is keeping up with him. And really, can Ben Mashburn hold on as long as he can, keep these tires in good shape to keep up with that 89 machine?
Right now, he's just got to be a bit careful with how much wheel input he's putting. Every little correction you're doing is going to be burning it up, and with how hard he's driving it, he's going to go below the 89, he's going to clear it. Batby, same, run a bit higher, seems to just be riding ever so slightly, but Mashburn did not feel like riding.
Wow, man, Matthew Batby, I'm sure wasn't expecting that 4-car to come up with that kind of speed right there toward the end. Really, a lot of moving around, a lot of moving parts to this race. Who has been Mashburn? Look at that. I mean, his car is on a tear right now, and he kind of clipped the outside of that wall. So, really, keep going, keep going, keep going, as he has got to stay out in front. But this is what we see from, Matthew Batby is kind of letting these guys go ahead, get out of your system, go ahead and run it down, because I'll catch you here in not but 10, 15 laps. So in Ben Mashburn's mind, you got to be thinking, I've got to maintain, and I've got to have no fumbles from here on out. But Matthew Batby getting a little work there from Jacob Fifield there in the 45, getting a little trouble on the back bumper. We're going to see if he's going to lose another position, but we've kind of seen this kind of same old song and dance here, kind of. These guys give a good shot, let Batby roll him toward the back, but his tire conservation seems to show his veteran status, being able to kind of conserve those tires and show up toward the end of a long run.
Yeah, when you are able to just know, hey, I just need to do my own thing. I'm not racing you just yet. I want to race you in the end when it actually matters. We still have a long way to go in this race, even though it seems like we're closing in on the end, which we are, but we still have over, 60-odd laps left in this race, 70 laps in the race to go, so still a very long race. We still need to make a pit stop, so Batby just giving up a bit of time now to make up the time later on.
Yeah, so it looks like Batby is getting that work from that 45 machine. Jeremy Richmond behind him, but I believe we've got a caution somewhere in the backfield here. As we are trying to see if we can find a quick tumble up here and see what exactly happened. Let's see.
I see a car moving backwards.
Let's see what exactly happened here. Let's see. Sorry about that, folks. See if we can try to find what exactly happened here to cause this pileup. I'm not sure what exactly happened in the backfield. Looking to see. Oop, might have somebody there.
Christopher Miller has taken it to the garage and is out of the race.
So the 12 machine got caught up in it?
Yep. Got caught up badly.
Alright, let me see if we can find it here. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Wow. Having some trouble here tonight. Not only the drivers, but we are taking their toll up here in the booth. These guys are having a heck of a time. Let's see if we can see exactly what happened. I believe Christopher Miller working his way on the bottom. I believe Shell might be who he got into. Ooh.
Shell just came down from near the top lane and just cut down. Miller wouldn't have been expecting that, especially with how quickly the 96 head came down, so real unfortunate for Miller to then get involved and had to take it to the garage.
Yeah, as we kind of see him kind of spinning the tires there, trying to get that thing back under control, but it is not going to happen. I think he is broken, and that is not going to be good for him. Let's go ahead and take a ride along with Christopher Miller here. It's 12 machine. Let's see what happens.
Miller riding his normal line, Shell right up the track, but then just cuts down, and Miller had no real time to be able to react, and then just started spinning, and then they pulled each other into the wall.
Wow, yeah, and he can't be happy about that. Of how that ended up turning out. I just don't know. Maybe if he just his spotter didn't say anything, or he didn't see him. Let's take a look around here with Shell and see if we can see anything weird that maybe have happened to get him. You see up there in the mirror? Yep, just kind of pulls down into him.
Looks like he tried to kind of dime in the corner, try get a bit more of a slingshot onto the tri-oval start-finish straight, but Miller just carrying that extra speed on that low line was able to shortcut the corner a bit more. Not to his own fault, he was running his normal line, and Shell just misjudged it when he came down.
Yeah, definitely not good for those drivers. They are down pit road right now. I have to see if anybody, looks like Matthew Wilson is out. Miller is out. William Britton is out. So we got a lot of drivers that have expired tonight with these guys unfortunately under caution yet again. I know Isaac Emerson in his Valvoline machine. I would like to see him out here, but family calls and life calls. iRacing may wait later. I don't know about you, Kynan. iRacing can't wait. I have to have it. But things that definitely can't wait is shout out to the sponsors here tonight of W Energy Drinks, the sponsor of Haas. These guys, they believe in them, so they'll sponsor them. So check out W Energy Drinks. They're the thing to have, especially for a long race like this. 68 to go. So go ahead and fire up the grill. Get the last of that smoked ribs out there from Captain Jack's Smokehouse. These guys make a great amount of food and really something tasty. Another fine sponsor of this league and a sponsor of Haas and here at 10-4 Broadcasting Admin Box. I know I say a lot about them. Plug and play USB. Really an all-in-one button box that you can use to, throw those caution flags, black flags, and go ahead and get the things straightened up here. You wouldn't need to use the cautions for any stage cautions for the rest of the night, as our last stage caution has been completed, but Admin Box is the one to do it. Make sure you check them out at adminbox.com. Don't forget 2 X's right there. And our coupon code also has 2 X's. If you use 10-4-box with 2 X's, and that'll knock that thing down with a good discount down to $125. And those guys are happy to see you. Any questions, give them a call, and they'll be able to walk you through your setup as well. But right now, setting up is Ben Mashburn and Matthew Batby up here in the front of the line here. Really, this
be interesting to see when the new tires start coming in and if they're able to keep with the leaders on the older tires. So anything can really still happen. We still don't know who could win. It's definitely down to more the top 10 for a real shot at winning it.
As we see Matthew Batby dialing it back to the 3rd position, Jacob Fifield in the 45 going ahead and getting his 2nd position. We are taking a look up here from that spotter position up here in the booth. Really kind of a interesting shot we get here as Jeremy Richmond all of a sudden showing a boatload of speed there, going and getting real aggressive on Matthew Batby. So he's kind of seesawing in between the 2nd and 4th position here with that 89 machine we kind of see floating around. But he's got to be careful because Jeremy Richmond, the 98 is going to catch him, and 45's got to watch out. So we're starting to see a lot of aggressive racing here toward the end with only about 64 to go.
Yeah, as we start approaching the end, now's the time that you really need to start making up those positions. With how Texas is, it's a bit harder to pass than, say, Charlotte or Kansas. So if you want to really get past, now's the time to do it. If you want to be in contention to finish well, you got to do it early on these restarts.
We're going to kind of go ahead and take a cutaway, let you guys go ahead and crank up this broadcast here and let you listen to the sounds of the Texas Motor Speedway of these guys getting around these turns. As we see, looks like a battle for the lead here, but we will keep an eye on it as we're going to go ahead and let you listen to the sounds of these Xfinity cars. All right, and we are back. It looks like Anthony Monroe may have suffered a lot of damage there. He's got some damage up in the right front of that vehicle, clipped the edge of the wall there, and it looks like his night may be over. as he is dialed back here to the 11th position. That is going to cost him dearly there, Kynan. And really, we're going to have to see how this works out as Martin Plute, oh boy.
I wouldn't want to talk to him now.
Nope. I think he's not going to want to talk to me anymore in the booth, as these two guys are kind of, unfortunately, turned around there. I'm wondering if they're trying to do a quick little pit stop here, get a little splash of fuel and back out front. But this is going to solve it for most of these guys' nights here, really, of where they can end up being. Ben Mashburn back to the 4th position. So Jacob Fifield is going ahead and taking the lead. Matthew Batby, So I just say that. It looked like Jeremy Richmond going ahead and fighting for his position, the 2nd and 3rd position. Matthew Batby, Jeremy Richmond. But as it stands right now, Ben Mashburn and Brian Messer there for the 4th and 5th position. Julio Villalobos putting a lot of pressure on Messer, but we'll have to see not as much pressure as we see Jeremy Richmond and Matthew Batby giving each other. But we'll see if that 98 car decides to try to fire to the inside there and really kind of, put Matthew Batby in his place. But I think Jeremy Richmond goes ahead and takes the ladder of taking it nice and easy and going ahead and getting back single file here, kind of.
Yeah, Richmond was looking very strong right now, so maybe feeling he's burning the tires up a bit too much too early on, so maybe dialing back, maybe pace is starting to catch up from when he decided to go burn the tires up a little bit. But quick update on Plute, he's taken it to the garage and is going to go take a little cool bath.
Oh man, not good. So the only survivor left in the Max Graphics Racing team here is Ben Mashburn. Still got a good top 5 finish here, so he'll definitely have to cash in with Chris Darling there for really being able to stick it out here toward the end. I'm not quite sure what happened to those drivers for them to come down pit road, and I think not Ben Mashburn, Martin Plute probably just turned it in, took the helmet off. Gloves are now on the dash just because of that slide into pit road, and that'll seal the deal for tonight of him being able to actually really recover and get back up front here. But a lot of driving here. These top 3 cars here, kind of Fifield, Batby, and Richmond, 45, 89, and the 98 car. This is I think we're going to see a turn of events here where Batby's getting ready to turn up the heat and really start putting pressure on that Chevrolet of Jacob Fifield.
It just seems like Fifield going very aggressive early on. The tires have now given up really the strength to be able to keep fighting at the amount that he would like, so that's just allowed Batby and Richmond to easily close up to the back. Batby deciding cut underneath after baiting Fifield up high, so Richmond able to follow Batby. I'm sorry.
That's not a problem, bud. I know what you're getting at. But what I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to is the top 5 cars. I did mention it earlier in the race. The top 5 cars are all Chevrolets right now. So Matthew Batby going ahead and taking the lead. Jeremy Richmond in 2nd. Fifield has fallen back to 3rd. Villalobos in the 78 car. And Alan Bledsoe in that 42 machine. We kind of see him back here fighting with the 54, which is the first Toyota out of that bunch of Brian Messer. Is really going to have to watch out for him. Man, you got to be thinking the wear and tear on the cars and on these drivers here. They're starting to wear down, and it's starting to really it's starting to show.
Yeah, with these sorts of races, I really enjoy doing endurance races. I did the Daytona 24-hour and Bathurst 12-hour this year. There's a couple that I didn't really get to, and look at doing Le Mans 24-hour in August next month, but having long races and long stints like this, it really starts to take the toll on drivers. So just having some sort of energy refresher and just keeping in a healthy mindset throughout the entire run is not that easy. So for the drivers that are able to, great works, and that will take you a long way in longer races like this. Yeah,
and really it's going to be quite a battle here for what they're able to do here is it looks like we got a lot of drivers starting to shuffle it up here. Looks like Riley Hoots is getting in the middle of it. Unfortunately, he's still 2 laps down, but is really fighting with Villalobos there. And in the mindset with Villalobos, yeah, you don't want to be battling a lapped car. I mean, one mishap by a lapped car and it could ruin your race as well. But Riley Hoots is a fast car, so it may be an idea to go ahead. Oof. Villalobos goes ahead and kisses off the wall there, to go ahead and let Riley Hoots get by and, make this sort of thing happen. As we're got about 50 laps to go there, kind of.
Yeah, I just want to let lap cars by, especially if they're as quick as Hoots, just so then if something does happen, then they aren't going to be as likely to push behind me, and then if a wreck does unfortunately happen and they're behind, then they may push me in, so I'd say made the right decision just letting Hoots go by and start running his own race. And as we are closed in with 50 to go, the race is now starting to start looking at, you gotta position yourself for the end. Make that final pit stop, and then you gotta go, but you gotta not go and burn up those tires. So it's a very difficult thing to really judge how aggressive you are.
Yeah, and really aggressive as Brian Messer right now worked his way up in that 54 machine to get up into second place, chasing down Matthew Batby. So we did see he was in 6th, and he is now broken well into the top 5 and going to try to see if he can give Matthew Batby a challenge for that lead. Brian Messer did pit on lap 149, and I think he may have gone ahead and taken tires then. And this may end up working out well for him. 11 laps later on tires is now starting to show their wear on Matthew Batby's car, who pit much earlier than that. So great job by Brian Messer in that 54 Toyota machine to get up front and put definitely fill his mirror with at least a car, because Jeremy Richmond is already second off the pace.
Yeah, Richmond really burning up his tires has just fallen way back to the point that unless something happens and such, Richmond isn't going to be able to really start fighting for the win anymore, and might just need to... I say that as he calls out he's pitting this time and does get down into pit lane. He has to be careful not to stuff up like Plute did as he gets in cleanly. He has to hope that he didn't get a speeding penalty, but it doesn't look like he has.
Yeah, it looks like he went ahead and got down put just in the nick of time. Oh, man, really, what a battle it is here out there in the chat. TJ George Esports Company, Bud, I feel your pain. I wish I knew how to fix it. It is above my pay grade, and I can get you the link to the guy if you wish to have a conversation with him to get that thing fixed. I assure you I have made multiple complaints, and hopefully they will be fixed. So we hopefully next stream to get that kind of thing squared away. I find as unprofessional as you do, if not more. But right now we're going to look back here at Julio Villalobos battling to keep out in front of some of these lapped cars here in that 78 machine. I don't know if he has a little damage on the right front of his car to, that may be starting to kind of punish him later on through the line here to stay in front of that 33 and the 95 of Nick Alford there. So the JKR Motorsports kind of on the back foot here. We're seeing a lot of teams kind of losing a lot of key players. We saw that it was, I believe it was JKR. These guys, kind of, with Reedy Ninas, Shell, and Alford, they kind of ended up fumbling a little bit. But, that's no fault of their own. That was a caution that was unexpected. But Fifield, Messer, and Richmond are able to hang out there. We got the Kenny Powers Motorsports, so we still have Bledsoe up front. We got Batby, but unfortunately, Wilson and Hoots, they're kind of on the back foot. And like I said, that was just pit strategy. That was unfortunate for some of those guys. And the Max Graphics Racing team, we didn't have Chris Darling show up, and Martin Plute unfortunately had to bow out. So we're seeing a lot of guys that we see up in the top 10 a lot are actually not actually here. So this is going to be some trouble or a different mix-up, and this may be, a win for one of these drivers out here that normally we don't see.
Yeah, this is when drivers that are used to more so running in the mid-pack like Bledsoe and other drivers need to just try to make their mark and pick up the scraps where they can, like tonight with Hoots and a lot of the more front-running drivers just either not racing or having issues of their own tonight, now's the time that you need to benefit from just a good, consistent run tonight, just to pick up whatever points you can.
Yeah, really points. Person losing on points right now, Isaac Emerson. That's kind of a bummer not being able to see his 92 machine out here. Michael Cunningham and Jack Wilkinson in the number 7 machine, and Michael Cunningham in the 9. Not seeing those guys out here, so really we got to be thinking on some of these drivers here, you know, what they were able to do. Jeremy Richmond in the 12th position is a lap down. He had a 39-second pit stop in that Chevrolet, so I'm starting to think he may have gotten tires. We saw his entry into pit was good. We didn't see him hit his pit box. So we're going to assume he probably got a set of tires here because he is starting to put some decent laps down. 31.3 on that last one there as he's worked his way up. Kind of going to meet Nick Alford here next on the list there. But really, I got to start getting a move on here as we only have 40 laps to go.
Well, I can help you out. I did pay attention to his pit stop. He took 4 tires.
Excellent. So that will probably be the last set of tires for him for the rest of this race. We can assume probably pretty safely that Matthew Batby has another set of tires sitting down there in pit. So, you know, if you're somebody like Messer, unfortunately it's fallen off about a second and a half, so he got a good run there, but wasn't able to put Batby behind him, you know, or Fifield here in the 2nd and 3rd position. You know, I'm wondering if a little tire strategy may have to come into play to make this thing happen.
Yeah, it definitely seems like tire strategy is coming into effect, just where you hit, how much you wear your tires down, and if you take right tires only, you'll gain a couple seconds just from not having to lift up your left side, take the tires off, put them back on, then drop the car again, compared to just picking up the right side, tires off, tires on, dropping it, and then going. That's the reason why I like to take it. Maybe the car's too tight as well. That will also help benefit you there. So a lot of different things that you can do that can massively change the outcome of this race.
Yeah, and another thing that would change the outcome that would be absolutely insane would be another caution. If another caution comes out, all these other guys who are pitting right now to get fuel and tires, that'll be the end of their night. You know, they are not going to be able to place or win the race because they'll be a lap down. Right now, everybody 5th down. Starting with Jeremy Richmond, Kelly Thomas, James Brosecker, Alan Bledsoe, Paul Bojanek there. Right now, that's at least up to the 9th position. These guys are down a lap. Ira Colas down a lap. Ben Mashburn's down a lap. Edward Marshall still has the fastest lap on the track here tonight. You know, and he's a lap down. So, I mean, you've got to be hoping, you know, when Ben, you know, Brian Messer, Matthew Batby, and Jacob Fifield, when the top 3 decide to come in for pit, I mean, you got to hold that thing to the floor and get back up front. Matthew Batby working his way down. Yep.
Right as you said something.
Yeah. So right now is the time these guys got to make up, is trying to put a lot of speed in front of Matthew Batby. He is going to have an extra set of tires. I would probably assume that if we are looking at him having an extra set of tires, he's probably pulling in with 2 to go, you know, 2 sets of tires, so he'll have 1 after this. So if there is a late stage caution, let's say around 200, I would expect him to come in, put another set of tires on, and blow the doors off these guys at this point. But right now in that 54 machine, Brian Messer going ahead and enjoying his time in the front, keeping out front there. But really, Jeremy Richmond, there he goes, going ahead and passing him. So now really only 3 people were on the lead lap. From my little ticker, from what I'm showing here, it shows Brian Messer's in the beginning. First position, Villalobos in the 2nd. Jeremy Richmond just got his lap back by passing that 54 machine. And that's it. Alan Bledsoe's a lap down. Bathmead's a lap down. Kelly Thomas is a lap down. So really, these guys are having to make up a lot of ground. But that 54 machine is turning a 32.4 second lap. So I would not want to hang out there much longer there, kind of. Oh no. And well, Alan Bledsoe will get the lucky dog position in that 42 machine. So any of you guys out there who are Alan Bledsoe fans, throw your hands up in the air. He just got the luckiest position at this point of what just happened here. With him being able to get that, it looks like Ben Mashburn has folded it up for the night. That is not good for that 4 machine. When did he pit? I thought he had already pit and was working his way back up front. Let's take a look here at Ben Mashburn getting through the turn here and see what happened. Oh.
Cuts into the grass, gets the death wiggles, and then the steering chucked him up.
Oh no. And was that Ira Colas? Yeah, I think that was the 29 machine, and he tried to avoid that, and it just, wow. And from this angle, it kind of looks easy to do. It looks like it's not that hard. It's a piece of cake. He had plenty of time to get out of the way. But we're gonna ride passenger with Ben Mashburn here and kind of show you what he has to go through and what he has to think about getting to this point. Boy, late pit entry there. Oh, Ira. Oh, from that angle, that makes all the sense. From that angle, makes all the sense. So a late pit entry by one of the vehicles out there where Ira Colas was. Ira was actually trying to avoid a late pit entry by one of the vehicles heading into pit. And I believe that was Fifield entering a lot later than expected. Let's take another look at this here. Yeah, right there, having to avoid, overcorrects and makes the slide. Connects with the wall, and Ben Mashburn's got nowhere to go. He tries to get out of the way, makes it, and then just can't hold her together. I mean, once you're over 180 miles an hour and you hit the grass, I mean, it's like driving on ice, and there's nothing left you can do. So that is going to do it for Ben Mashburn's night, I believe.
Yeah, he's taking it to the pit spot. We saw him try saving it, but then because of how the steering works in these things, it just shot him up into the wall, and then the 29, already being on the high line, had no real time to react to it.
Wow, yeah,
but
really
another big contender out of it.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, as it looks like Ira Colas is going to go ahead and bring this down pit road here. And let's see if we can see how many of these drivers are on the lead lap here of what is going on. Let's go ahead and get that thing popped up here. Right there, Brian Messer up in the lead. Villalobos, looks like Jeremy Richmond, Bledsoe, Batby, Edward Marshall are the guys on the lead lap. Other than that, that is going to do it for the lead lap cars. Interesting, as I would probably question that if Batby was a lap down with Alan Bledsoe up front. Huh. I guess how Batby got on the lead. But I will not question that at this point. He is what he is, and he is on the lead lap. So he is up front there, kind of really interesting to see how that turned out. I may have you float down into that race controller unless you know how he ended up on the lead lap. But regardless, it looks like Matthew Batby still in contention. I thought he was going to be a lap down and kind of seal the deal for him there up front. But that'll only put 6 cars on the lead lap here. So, Jeremy Richmond passed the leader just in the nick of time to get up front. And Alan Bledsoe was able to be the lucky dog on that one to get up front. So this is interesting here, as it looks like Batby. Yeah, a lot of wave rounds. So let's see how we look here as these guys get collected up and working their way back around to the front of the field here.
So I'm trying to find how I have my theories. Okay, so leader of Brian Messer pitted, and Bledsoe and Batby was behind him, so that left them directly behind the pace car, which meant they just got waved around then.
Interesting. That also puts Brandon
That's not
Fetterplace a
really
lap down. He's in the 10th position. Let's see another car. It looks like Riley Hoots is still back there. You know, he's still 2 laps down. And I think that's just what happened of what's going on here. Yeah, it looks kind of weird, doesn't it? I think everybody's kind of getting a little tangled up of what is going on up in the front of the race. Looks like another wave around there. Looks like Edward Marshall gets his way around.
He should be going green this time by.
Yeah, it should be way out. 1 lap to green. So
Oh.
that should put Messer in the lead.
You can tell by the fence lights, we've gone back under extension.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so race control may be having a little trouble here trying to get this thing under control. I don't blame them. It's difficult, and you know, to get this thing squared away, you know, and get everybody in line. It's a lot harder than it looks, but really, it's something to think about. With 28 laps to go, we'll probably be under green with 26 to go, and really only the top 6 are on the lead lap. I mean, you can still battle. Let's say 12th position through 7th are able to battle, but you're still a lap down. I would definitely want to battle up to that 7th position. 1 caution brings another, and here we are. You know, we can end up getting tangled up here pretty good. But it looks like that pace car is going to stay out there another lap. I'm not quite sure what got fumbled around on here. But this will be a great time for us to cut to commercial as we try to see what in the world is going on here. All right, and we are back. It looks like, I believe, Race Control finally has this thing under control and got this thing about squared away of where the cars need to be and end up being. I think I think where most of it is ending up is some of these drivers just who's on the lead lap and who's not. You know, with Alan Bledsoe here in the 6th position, Matthew Babby's now moved up to the 4th. So interesting to see on that call. Yeah, I think Edward Marshall's just having a little trouble, and I think iRacing is telling him one thing and Race Control is telling him another. Yeah, I'm wondering if it... Man, yeah, and it's almost like iRacing's telling Edward Marshall to pass the pace car, and he's not quite understanding why. You know, I can't blame him at this point. It's very, very confusing. As it looks like, yeah, it's put him now on the top of the ticker here. So I think it's confused us just as much as him. I think I've run into this situation before, and that's where admin box would come into play, is actually he would start in the 6th position. It would say he would start out of line, and then you just kind of wave off his black flag and let him continue to race. That way he ends up in the position he needs to be in. But right now this is just starting to be a little bit of a tangle up. But like I said, guys, really start thinking about it. You got to have it. Admin box. Go ahead and check them out at adminbox.com. Use 10-4-box with 2 X's, and that'll knock that thing down to 125. Another great piece of equipment which would help us in a situation like this. Edward Marshall, I'm sure, is pounding his head off the floor because they can't seem to figure out where that poor guy needs to be, as it's showing him now in the lead. Interesting to see. I hope this does not ruin his race for some of those drivers out there watching him. Of TJEsports.com. Man, I really, our esports company, my bad, excuse me. This has been a long race for you guys, and I don't know, but it's a long race for me as well. As it looks like Edward Marshall's kind of starting, it shows by our screen, in first, but in the back. So I don't know what in the world is going on here. I would be afraid to pull race control in right now, as I think they're trying to square this one away. But this would be probably a good time to find somebody. Let's see. Let's do a roll the dice. And we are going to bring in... What do we say? Let's bring in Jeremy Richmond. Jeremy Richmond, you got a copy? Man, you guys have got to be pounding your head off the dash right now. What in the world is happening down there? Seems race control and iRacing have a little bit of a scuffle of where people need to be. Okay, yeah, and that's kind of what we're looking at. Is he's up here in the lead, and it's kind of, really in your situation, this is kind of ticking down time for you to work your way up toward the front. But really, short runs seem to be your strong point here tonight, and that will work out perfectly for you, being able to move up front. But you're going to have Messer, Villalobos, and Batby around you. How's the tire situation looking for you? And, are we looking at a good run out of you here in the final 20 laps? Okay, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. When you get back under green there, Jeremy. Good luck.
Yeah,
out there,
I appreciate
buddy.
it. Yeah, quick shout out to my dad. His business is right off of turn 3 here, about a mile off of turn 3 here. So, Arrow Valley Aircraft. Look them up.
Sweet. All right, man. Now we'll make sure everybody goes.
I gotta get it in, but I gotta get it in if I don't get a top 3.
I understand, bud. So you really put the pedal to the metal in that 98 machine.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Y'all do a good job.
Alrighty, kind of. Now, I don't think he'll say we did a good job when he finds out that I think I had that thing muted. So we were able to get that very end there, kind of. And boy, I think he's gonna take me out back and beat me for that one. So I gotta be careful. As they say, it looks like race control had a little trouble, and iRacing kind of stumbled. Is Edward Marshall was actually supposed to start toward the back behind the pace car on that one, but he is now, really kind of a little confusing. Is him actually in 6th position up in the front here, and really where this starts to put a lot of these drivers. I'm interested to see how this works out for some of them, how it's going to go. I'm not 100% sure who is in the lead at this point. Villalobos is probably a good guess, with Messer up front. So there we go. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I think iRacing and the league is having just as much trouble as we are here tonight, trying to figure out how to get this thing crunched down and really, under our thumb, getting this thing under control. But right now, as we talked to Jeremy Richmond before, he's working his way, trying to get into the lead. But wow, look at is that good, Pastor, rolling the way he is in the back? Wow, got a lot of speed out of that car there on the outside.
Don't know how I managed to miss it with the bright pink.
Yeah, as we look, Jeremy Richmond is out there out front, so exciting to see. He has had a lot of short run success. How Matthew Batby's going to kind of play up with this, as he now has 5 cars in front of him he's got to work with to get around. But this is going to be quite the challenge for Matthew Batby if he wishes to try to take the win for this race. Up here in the front, I believe that is, good Lord, Kelly Thomas, I believe, in the 51 back there with Batby. But Batby's starting to see a kind of a sea of cars in front of him, and going to have to work his way around as the 54 machine of Messer's there. Villalobos is there, and Goodpaster's in front of him. So Jeremy Richmond, run like the wind if you can. But man, he's got a lot of ground to make up and get out front.
I'd be looking to try and make it a free wide pass. Good pass has to be high. Be careful on the high line there. It's going to be able to carry the momentum. 54 backing out of it. 89 trying to dive it in deep. Good pass to managing to keep it up high, but not going to be able to carry enough speed as Batby gets up into the third position.
Man, Batby's on a tear, and he's already starting to pick up a lot of speed right there. He was only a tenth faster than Jeremy Richmond, but right now Jeremy Richmond's got to make sure he stays clean as Julio Villalobos is going ahead and applying the pressure to the backside of his car. But man, look at this, as these guys in the top 5 are really starting to put, express the way they want to be up in a podium position. Goodpaster is 3 laps down, I believe. Yes, he is. Goodpaster is 3 laps down. So still, right now, you are seeing the top 3. Jeremy Richmond, 98, the 78 of Julio Villalobos, and Matthew Batby in the 89. So a lot of high-numbered cars going ahead and rolling up here in the low numbers, the top 3. But really, this is a crazy run here, kind of.
Yeah. Now on lap 200, coming to lap 201, 217 laps in the race in total. So now's the time you really Now's the time you really got to start going. Now I'm making too many mistakes. Yeah, too much going on the track right now.
That's all right, bud. We have a couple fumbles here at 10-4 broadcast and things like that. Of course, sort of happen. But we enjoy you joining us here. This is Patrick Morrison with Kynan Jones. Oh, man, at the High Octane Sim Series. This is crazy, as right now Villalobos loses a ton of speed and jams. I mean, absolutely jams Batby, losing a ton of speed and time. Matthew Batby now half a second off the lead and is now going to have to make that quick move to the inside. Can Julio Villalobos go ahead and put that thing closer to him? Oh, man, don't be afraid of netcode. Give that 89 a push and a shove there, because he's going to let you know if you're in his way, as it looks like the 89 starts doing a little wiggling to keep him nervous and up high, which seems to work. 78's getting loose, and Villalobos is now dialed back to the 3rd position. So Matthew Batby, his only contender now at this point is Jeremy Richmond, who's half a second in front. We've seen Jeremy Richmond been able to take away from Matthew Batby and stay fast, but he's got 15 laps to stay out front, and that is almost an eternity for that Chevy machine out front. But the top 3 Chevys, Jeremy Richmond, Matthew Batby, and Julio Villalobos, going to have to really get this thing, seal the deal here if Jeremy Richmond can stay out front.
Yeah, Jeremy Richmond has to be careful with how much he was just using the tires. Hopefully he didn't use them too hard, which has then made it so he's going to struggle right in the dying stages of the race. But Batby seems to just be getting a little bit tight on exit of 2, so is pushing and sliding that tire. So he's also going to be losing a lot of grip compared to everyone else. So it's really anyone's game, but right now it's mainly a 2-horse race between Batby and Richmond.
Alrighty, and it looks like actually those 2 guys right there, Jeremy Richmond pulled a 36.91. Batby pulled a 30.67. So gotta stay out front and stay fast. Batby kind of catching him a little bit on that front stretch, but Jeremy Richmond staying confident, staying out front. Really, man, this is going to be a heck of a run down here toward the end. These cars are almost identical right now, but Matthew Batby seems to be able to have the tire conservation on his mind. As we discussed before, Matthew Batby still probably has a set of tires in the back. So if the crippling caution comes out, you're looking at Matthew Batby most likely starting in 6th position with a set of fresh tires. And that would absolutely destroy Jeremy Richmond at this point, who has now run out of tires at this point. So, we'll have to see, as he's now starting to put the distance on Matthew Batby. So he's got to be careful. I mean, he picked up a 10th there, but, can he hold on? Or can Julio Villalobos, let's say he's able to pick up a little bit of speed here, Kynan, and try to hold Batby off. But right now, Batby's still getting a good pull and working his way around, as we're coming up with only about 10 to go there, Kynan.
Batby looks to just be dialing it back ever so slightly, maybe trying to conserve some sort of tires. Richmond is going to be trying to go for it. If a caution comes out now, Richmond probably knows he's done for. There's not a lot he's going to be able to do with the new tires, so maybe just trying to go for it, but if he goes too hard, he might also be burning up it. Oh, Batby did catch the wall ever so slightly. Doesn't seem to have hindered him as badly as I would have expected, but that's not what he's going to be wanting. He's really starting to wash out into.
Yeah, and he may just be pushing a little too hard. Now, I'm just wondering if that draft from the backside of Matthew Batby's feeling a little weird on the backside of that car, as that little tumble there he had on the exit of 2 has cost him 0.2 of a second. And right now, with only 9 to go, Kynan, that is absolutely detrimental. He has got to figure out how to make up that time. We have seen that 89 machine do it, but does he have enough time? As we're, I mean, like I said, 9 to go. He's going to have to really keep up the speed, Jeremy Richmond. Hopefully his head ain't too swollen up. And, you know, because in a situation like this, man, I'm breathing real heavy. I'm starting to get nervous. My head's, I'm starting to get sweaty. You're starting to lose concentration. And Jeremy Richmond just got to stay calm, cool, and collected and stay out front.
It's in this moment that is the reason why I'm looking at buying a heart rate monitor, so then I can see how high my heart rate goes. We've seen real life drivers get over 160, and that isn't a good thing to maintain consistently throughout an entire race, but I'd be very interested in seeing what Jeremy Richmond's heart rate is at right now.
Yeah, well, Jeremy Richmond has been very good at being able to stay out front, and he really doesn't make mistakes. I think the only time I've ever seen Jeremy Richmond make mistakes is when he is in the 18th position and he tries to get to the 5th position in a matter of 10 laps. So, he can do it. I've seen him drive, but, man, he just isn't able to hold it forever. The two of us, got it at Knock Hill one time, and the two of us just could not maintain it. But right now, Matthew Batby off by a second, and I think Jeremy Richmond has sealed the deal on this one. Villalobos has now gone ahead there. The battle for the second and third position. 78 and the 89 right now are rubbing quarter panel to tire. This is getting rough here up in the second position. Jeremy Richmond is enjoying that battle there in the back. Really, that is tough.
Jeremy Richmond is going to be looking in his mirror and seeing the 78 and the 89 going side by side, and going to be loving every moment of that. Every single second that these two are going side by side or just racing each other, that's another bunch of time just lost to the leader. So it isn't what these two want, but it's exactly what Jeremy Richmond is going to be wanting right now.
I know we've been trying to have a little chat with Villalobos the past couple of races. He does seem to stay up front a lot of times, but he has been dialed out of the top 3 every single time, and hopefully we'll be able to see him up top here as Brian Messer. He's going to have to make up 4/10 to find the back end of that 78 car, but Matthew Batby still having a battle to keep up into the second position. Look at that, as those two guys are almost rubbing door to door, getting so close. Man, these guys are really pushing it here to the end with only 4 to go.
They've getting very close. You're starting to be able to slip a piece of paper between these two. Both running up higher than they normally would, but Villalobos was able to cut down a little bit more in the mid-corner and was able to carry a bit more speed on exit, but then that high line momentum was able to carry it throughout the rest of the straightaway. Batby really struggling just to have that mid-corner rotation.
Yeah, as it looks like Villalobos has to be careful. That 54 machine of Brian Messer looking toward the inside. So the battle, really, you're seeing here is second, third, and fourth as Jeremy Richmond has driven away with a 2-second lead. He's got this thing in the bag unless a major mechanical function happens. He has got this squared away. So TJ George, Esports, man, you have it on point. He has it won. But right now, we are looking at second, third, and fourth. Man, look at that. As that 70 car gets a little bit loose there, and really, I think Brian Messer has a lot more speed. These guys are just trying to figure out, who's going to give up and who's going to make the mistake. His night, he is not going to be able to recover from that as he is spun out. I'm sure he's going to, that radio is lighting up right now. Brian Messer He's now back in the 4th, which now seals it up for Batby, going ahead and getting the 3rd position. Right here. Ooh, boy. What the heck happened there? We will have to see. I believe Alan Bledsoe in the 42 machine is placed 3rd. As we were kind of seeing, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, it kind of shuffling up on me there. Jeremy Richmond takes the win here tonight at Texas. Matthew Batby seals the 2nd position. Alan Bledsoe from out of nowhere in the 42 machine places 3rd. Brian Messer in the 54 machine places 4th. Check that out. Edward Marshall gets a top 5 tonight here in the High Octane Sim Series. Villalobos unfortunately falls back to the 6th position. Kelly Thomas in the 51 finishes in 7th. Fifield 8th. Fetter placed 9th. And James Brosicker top 10. Wow, what a run by the very end there. And we'll have to get maybe a talk to Batby there, how he felt really and what happened there at the final lap there. Yeah, like you were saying, go for broke, but that was not looking good. Man, that was rough there, bud.
Texas is notorious for not producing the best racing, but here in the High Octane Sim Series, we knew that something was gonna happen, and they put on a show as they normally do.
Holy cow, man! That was just so much battling right there, being able to get these guys together and keep it under control. I believe is kind of what I'm looking for, is how these guys were able to maintain. And then, I mean, Bledsoe was back there a good ways, but he was able to go ahead and keep this thing where he needed to, and get his way back up front. But yeah, talk about a lucky break for him.
And after a season of relatively bad luck as well.
Yeah, and I believe you were catching up with Alan Bledsoe in the 42. Alan Bledsoe, you got a copy?
Hello?
Alan?
Hi.
There you are.
So
I exist.
that was a dramatic race. Walk us through what you saw during that entire thing.
Well, the only thing I can remember really is that last lap where the 54 dumped the 78 and I ended up 3rd. Everything else was just kind of I don't know. I mean, I pitted too early both times we had green flag pit stops apparently. So ended up going to lap town both times. But I had a fast enough car to where I was able to get back on the lead lap. Oh boy, it was definitely a struggle. You could not pass. If the car in front of you was hitting their marks, it didn't matter whether you were faster than them or not. You couldn't pass them because the arrow, it was just arrow tight. Yeah. What'd you guys think?
Well, it was fabulous to watch. Texas is renowned for not producing the best racing, but I think you basically summed it up. What was the biggest challenge for tonight?
Avoiding that 78 while he was spinning. That was intense. I don't know if you guys want to go back in the replay, but see how close that was between. Wow. I just looked at it. That was really close. But yeah, that was it was just really hard to pass. Obviously, like I just said, it was whether you had the faster car or not, you were what's the word I'm looking? I don't know the words, but because words are hard.
I was struggling with words all broadcast.
Do what?
I was struggling with speaking as well, so I wasn't even driving, but I don't know how you're really talking now, especially with that last lap.
Yeah, okay, I know the word. You're at the mercy of the car in front of you. Basically, whatever they do, you have to either do the opposite, which often gets you put in the wall, or or you have to do the exact same thing as they do, or else you lose ground on them. So it's just, it was one of those races, really hard. But man, after DNFing all 3 of my first 3 races, I am so pumped at this top 3 finish, man. So pumped. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Oh, you're managing to steal all of the questions that I had. I was just about to ask, after a difficult season with nothing going your way, what was it like to finally break through the bad luck and get the podium? But you basically summed it up.
Well, I cannot go in this interview without thanking Eric Tupper, our official for this race. He's awesome in the fact that he went ahead and gave me his old wheel that he wasn't using. He said it was just kind of sitting in storage for the last year, and he's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and send it to you. And it has force feedback. Woo! I have force feedback, and I can actually feel the car, feel the wheel, and I think that really helped me today. It really helped me. I was fast.
Yeah, of course. Force feedback is going to make you fast, bud. I mean, really, that's got to be difficult, out there racing without any kind of anything happening. If you're just kind of floating around and kind of guessing what the car is doing, that you kind of got to be a little, I guess, more in tune if the nose of it's dropping down or anything else like that. But it looks like you guys have gone ahead and gotten rid of the Charlotte Roval and have gone ahead and opted for Watkins Glen next week. How are you feeling about that track?
I suck at road courses. I don't know if you guys remember me last year or last season in the road courses, but it was a struggle. Let's just say that it was a real struggle. So hopefully this new wheel helps me with that, and we'll see how that goes. Congrats to Richmond on his win, by the way. I know he's been really having some bad luck lately, so kind of like me, he was able to break through.
Yeah, really, that short run really got him out front, and that's kind of what I was noticing. He was kind of had a really fast short run car, and Batby just wasn't able to get catch up and reel him in. So fortunately, a great win for Jeremy Richmond. But hey, you placed third. You've got a podium finish tonight, man. And we'll go ahead and wrap this up. And let's go ahead and give me some of those shout-outs for some of the people watching you here tonight.
Well, I'd like to thank my dad. He's been watching all race. And Jordan, she's been a good friend and a good co-worker at ATD. Obviously, that brings me to my next one, ATD, American Tire Distributors. I cannot go with a podium without thanking them for letting me put their name on the car. And if you want your tires, go to tirebuyer.com. You can have tires sent to your house or to the shop you want it taken at. You want your tires changed at. Real big deal right there. And then you guys, obviously, for putting on the broadcast. You guys do a great job every week. I do kind of miss getting called the Red Dragon, though. That was a Will Tiller thing, but I was the Red Dragon for a time.
The Red Dragon. What is the story behind that?
W Energy.
Okay.
Yeah, the Dragon Aid, I believe. He just kind of came up with it, and it stuck because my car is red.
Okay. I thought there would be more to it, man, but at least it's PG, so we're good to go with that. So, all right, bud. Well,
and then, yeah, go ahead. I'm done.
You're fine. You're fine, bud. Go and give that. Yeah, give the last 2 shout-outs there, bud. This is your time to shine.
Nick Alford putting on this league. It's an awesome league. I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. He's been a great owner to this one. I know it's been a little rough, but hey, you can't have a bunch of new cars and not not have a little bit of a rough time in the first couple of races.
Alrighty. And that is Alan Bledsoe in that ATT machine. Man, if I were you, make sure you have them order a couple extra sets of tires for you at Watkins Glen, and maybe that might help you get through that one there, bud.
I'm still reeling at the fact that I didn't put tires on it when I got the lucky dog, so grr.
That's all right, bud. Top 3, and we will see you next week at Watkins Glen.
Have a good night, guys.
You too. All right, and there we go. So really, Alan Bledsoe there placing 3rd. We're going to have a chat with Matthew Batby first, and then actually, I believe, out in the... out there in the chat, some of you guys are asking what happened to Villalobos, and we will keep an. I will actually find it, and we will roll that back and see exactly what happened to him during that run. As you see, we're kind of rolling through here on the replay through the slow-mo, and we may see it catch up here. But right now, we're gonna have a little chat with Matthew Batby in that 89 machine. Matthew, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, bud. I know you've been fast all night, and we kind of expected you to catch Jeremy Richmond. He had a lot of short-run speed with that 98 machine, and you and Villalobos there in the 78 were battling side by side for over 10 laps. Really, what was the secret to keeping calm during that and not getting collected in that final spin-out?
Just trying to get a good run off and not touching him, and trying to stay as clean as I could, but I was really hoping that the dude behind him would hit the 78 and maybe cause a caution with like 2 to go. Get lucky there, but it just I could not run down Jeremy Richmond. I can't tell you how well he ran tonight. Rapid around here, so yeah, he was definitely really quick. I tried everything. I tried running the top a little bit, moving up, but he was just rapid.
Yeah, he was definitely quick, and that is for sure. You guys, man, it's interesting to see how that ended up. It did look like you fell off a lot of time that one green flag pit stop, and it almost reminded us up here in the booth of you at the Rock last week, as you had an extra set of tires hanging out in pit, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we were thinking there may be a caution around 200 to 205. You were going to go in and pit and have 15 laps to turn that thing into a rocket ship around the rest of these. But interesting to see you guys stayed green, and you were able to, unfortunately, you had to hang out there on those tires, and it just didn't work out for you. I think you were the highest placing out of your race team. Riley Hoots kind of got on the back foot on this race here tonight, which was a little bit unfortunate for him. Really, is there anything you could have done, I mean, other than that caution, to get your way into that winner's circle again?
Well, yeah, I think definitely with that last caution, I don't know how much laps were left, but I know Jeremy Richmond pit there. I kind of wish I went in and got the extra set, but I think that may have helped me a little bit. And definitely there was another driver, I don't know who it was, but he was a lap down, and I could not get past him. He was just in the way, so I think if he got out of the way, I think I could have maybe run down him or ran him down a little bit. But I think Jeremy Richmond ran a perfect race. He definitely deserved this one.
Yeah, the 78 of Villalobos was giving you a heck of a time there during that run, but man, he got unfortunately spun out there. I don't know if it was on his own or if Brian Messer got into the back of him after we finish having a chat with you. We will get to that replay, as most of the population out there and our viewers want to see that. So we will see. We will get it on the big screen here. But really, man, you're looking at Watkins Glen next week. Really, what can we expect out of you at that road course?
Hopefully, winning speed. I got to practice. You definitely got to practice way more than an oval. So definitely come into that race and practice every day of the week and work up your confidence on each corner, and hopefully I can pull it off. Usually I'm pretty decent at road courses, so hopefully I can go win.
Okay, and we noticed you were the champion last year of the High Octane Sim Series. Are you noticing any different strategies you're having to do from last year? Are the drivers getting tougher, or or are you just having like a little bit of string of bad luck here?
Well, I definitely think some bad luck involved, but these guys are really quick. Definitely Jeremy Richmond and Christopher Darling and Brandon Fetterplace. Those guys are really rapid. So yeah, competition is definitely up to or gotten better.
Oh yeah, well that's always what you want to see. Is you want to see the league grow and other people get fast just as you do, and then it will make you get better and working with your teammates and things like that. But go ahead and give us the shout out, and we will let you get back to what you do, bud, and get ready for next week.
Well, yeah, got to thank my team, my brother for watching these races, and my parents, and I know my grandparents are watching, so shout out to them, and all my aunts and uncles and cousins, so shout out to them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And you guys too for broadcasting this too. So.
Oh yeah, and especially our logo looks pretty good on the front of y'all's windshields too.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, Matthew, great job tonight. That 89 Chevrolet did a fantastic job, and I cannot wait to see what you guys have in store at Watkins Glen.
Thank you guys. See you there.
All right, man. Man, really, what a battle that was. And we're going to kind of set up here. And let's see from the everyone out there is kind of asking really what happened in that final tie up there. And I'm going to go ahead and listen to you guys. I'm going to listen to you guys, and let's see what exactly happened in this situation here that got Villalobos actually turned around for that final run through. To see what exactly happened here. Let's see. All right. Here we go. So, we know Batby's on the outside. We got Messer on the inside. Villalobos in the middle. And we'll kind of do a little slower. Contact.
This looks like the 78 was trying to cut down just ever so slightly and just hard racing for the final spot on the podium.
Yeah. And really, I know some of the maybe some of the viewers out there, probably I could see maybe a little confused. I know I hate when somebody calls it, quote, racing incident. I hate when that happens because it's always got to be somebody's fault. I'm going to point fingers at somebody. I just don't know 100% on this replay here as we're going to take that 10-4 right front fender before we get to Jeremy Richmond here. And let's take another peek here at what happens. As it looks like 54 is trying to hold his line and a quick cutoff here. And then, yeah, maybe a checkup that Messer didn't expect. And those two just made contact. And then, that's kind of all she wrote right after that. Which is a bit unfortunate for Villalobos. Villalobos in the 78 machine did finish 6th. Messer did finish 4th. So that is kind of a bummer. They're right there at the end. So I hope you guys got a good replay of that. Of what exactly happened to that driver there. So that way we can clear some of that up. But right now we're going to catch up with Jeremy Richmond here for the finale and have a chat with that 98 machine. Jeremy Richmond, you got a copy?
I do, sir.
Man, I talked to you earlier and we weren't sure, but you were able to get that win here tonight. Did the... I'm trying to figure out how to ask this. Was the
while you're figuring out what to ask, I just gotta say I always want y'all to. I'm always like, man, I wish they would interview the winner first. But I'm glad y'all didn't because I was yelling and cussing and like really excited because this is my first league win. So let me just get that out there.
Yeah, well, we definitely saw the burnouts and everything, and figured that you were going to burn that thing to the ground, send the engine to outer space. But really, what a drive there that you had in the final 20 laps to go. And I was hoping that short run speed would work for you, and it did. So man, in that 98 machine, I mean, we talked to you earlier, and it's kind of hard to ask any follow-up questions. You know, you said you had a P3 car. Did you think you had the win?
There was times I thought if I ran my car the right way, meaning not over driving it or running the right front off on the short run, that I thought that I had something for Batby. But I just never. I was giving up too much on the short run for some of those long runs, so it was taking me a while to kind of get up there, and then by the time I would get up there, it would be a caution, or we would have to pit, or the end of the stage, or something. So I didn't really know what I had until I had clean air the first time in the first stage. I was running. I'm like, man, I think I can do anything that I need my car to do, whether it's a short run, middle run, or a long run, to make myself great. So I was just hoping for a top 3, but I thought maybe I had a shot at it. But Bappy's so fast, man. He could hold stuff in the bag and find something like right at the end, and you're just like, what the heck?
Yeah, and really it was something to see. And I know you guys over JKR Motorsports, you guys have been practicing all week for this track. You know, some of the other guys you've been practicing with out of your race team just didn't seem to get, let's say, their tires underneath their car as much as they would have liked to tonight. You know, is there a secret that you had, you know, kind of in the background that you put you where you did tonight?
So I went a little bit different than all my teammates tonight, but that's a talk for us to have. Right before the race, I was like, man, I'm going to just try this real quick because my car was decent. I was right with all my teammates. I did not practice with all my teammates except for last Sunday. So they practiced way more. I only got them practice in today because my schedule during the week, I can't race during the week anymore because I wake up at 2 a.m. Eastern time. So can't race during the week.
Oof. Man, but really, then we won't keep you too much longer here tonight. It is 11 o'clock here Eastern time, man, so I know this is going to be a stretch for you. Fortunately, it is.
I don't work tomorrow, so I'm going to be partying all night.
All right, I was going to say, well, at least you don't have to work on Saturdays, hopefully. Man,
That's
really,
why I race Friday night.
Yeah, what a fantastic job. And, man, I miss the racing with you in the Xfinity and the trucks, but it is great watching you up here from the booth. So, Jeremy, dude, go ahead and give me some of those shout-outs you got, bud. I got to know.
All right, so first would be my dad with Arrow Valley Aircraft, Phillips Golf Academy. He's down in Austin. And then I got Max Graphics. He does all our paint schemes. And then one last one, it's my wife's mom. She's going to be on my car soon. Salon Swank, the Outer Banks, North Carolina. Look her up. She does wedding-style hair. And then, obviously, you guys, y'all are great. And all the Haas admins putting on this league. First league win, I can't be happier, and it's around really fast guys, so it really makes me happy.
Yeah, awesome, bud, awesome. And we're excited to see some of those new paint schemes you bring out on that 98 machine. But, man, go ahead and have a fantastic night, and we're excited to see what you can do at Watkins Glen next week.
Woo, Ricky Bobby, yeah. All right, y'all have a good one.
Yeah, you too. There's a little bit from Jeremy Richmond there, and you kind of get his temperament. You know, he's very laid back. You know, he likes, he tries to give it the best he can each and every week, and I'm glad to see he was able to really pull away with a win on this one here. As you can see, man, really fantastic job by him right toward the end, as being able to outrun Matthew Batby, and it's just I'm not sure, Kynan. I mean, it's refreshing to see a new driver out there and who's happy about winning a race. And, being able to take this thing and I don't know. It's hard to say. You kind of sometimes have the same drivers up front, but him to be the sole survivor, up here in the top 5, along with, Messer and these other guys, being able to make it happen, it's great to see.
Yeah, you saw a lot of emotion from Bledsoe and Jeremy Richmond, both very happy, and it just shows good spirit and shows a bright future for iRacing and the league in particular.
Yeah, really, what a great what a great job there by Jeremy Richmond. Watkins Glen is next week, so that is going to be another one to look out for. If you love road racing, that is going to be one of them. I believe they're going to go ahead and keep that at a 70-lap race. We'll know a little more when we get there. I believe racers like Isaac Emerson, hopefully Christopher Darling will be back. Those guys are really fast out there on the road course, so hopefully a lot of those guys will be back. And you see kind of right here in our replay at the J. Carroll Motorsports cars kind of collecting right there. So great job by Jeremy Richmond tonight. Kynan, any final thoughts?
Once again, High Octane Sim Series put on an excellent show. We now expect this, so tune in next week for Watkins Glen because it's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, and really what a blast it is going to be. Shout out for the High Octane Sim Series bringing 10-4 Broadcasting on board, and we believe in this series so much that we even sponsor the league themselves. That's why you see us on all their windshields, because we are so excited to see what kind of racing they bring here. So thank you again from all of us at 10-4 Broadcasting. This is Patrick Morrison, followed by Kynal Jones. Don't forget to check out Admin Box, and we will see you next week at Watkins Glen.